It's going live.
Hey, we're live.
We are live.
We are live. What is up, everybody? I am Krista Cameron. Welcome to Freaky Fridays with Empyrean Lights.
I am Darryl Strawberry. We have a special guest.
I'm Michael, aka Rickshaw.
Michael used to be the bass player for the illustrious band I Wrestled a Bear Once, correct?
Correct.
So, we go way back, as it were.
Yeah, it was fun. It was always a fun time traveling around and practicing jokes, not our instruments.
Yeah.
What are instruments?
Woot, Rickshaw in the house.
Oh, Ricky, you were actually in the house right now. Actually, we are at Ricky's house right now. We are all quarantined together. And we're in Ricky's Worship and Tribute Nerd studio right now. If you guys haven't followed Ricky on YouTube, follow him now. You can look him up on YouTube, Worship and Tribute Nerd. And if you haven't followed him on Instagram, you should totally do that as well. If you don't,
Yes.
Or my personal one, I Hate Ghosts.
or his personal one, which is perfect for tonight because you hate ghosts.
Yeah.
And we're talking about all things freaky.
That's right.
In my older age, I would, if I was to rename that, it wouldn't be I Hate Ghosts. It would say, I fear ghosts, but I'm fascinated by them.
Right.
So it keeps my interest.
I'm trying to find like a way,
At
like
IG.
if like somebody other, like if you kind of came across like a apparition and it was just like Ricky, and then all of a sudden you're like, I don't hate you, but I am fascinated.
It's not that I hate you.
Yeah.
See, the thing is, I've always had a plan. If I'm face to face with an apparition, I will take the Pac-Man method and try and eat that motherfucker. Then I think that ghost might get scared of me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's
You're
like, oh shit, this
Like,
guy right
today
here is trying
you
to
are
eat
a checker sandwich.
The ghost is like, this guy bites. He's a biter. So what you two are biters.
What you do are biters.
I was unaware. Though what you two were biters.
Well, why don't you try this on?
We literally just watched that not that long ago.
Yeah, we did.
We did. No, I didn't. I wasn't with them.
Okay, so let's get to some freaky ass freaking stories.
I am Jeffrey. I am typing this.
Yeah.
My name is Darryl. Or
You're-
Daniel.
Darryl will be sitting here because he's in front of the computer screen right now. So
It's a Jeffrey.
What's his name? Jeffrey Moore?
I thought they were asking you if you were Jeffrey.
No.
Just guessing your name.
Daryl.
See, somebody's very
Hello,
excited to
Jean
see
Pierre.
you.
It's very nice to have you guys on the stream.
John Pierre. That's the guy. Remember you said his name wrong and you corrected me, and then he left a message like, Rick, you said it right.
What's his name?
It's Villeneuve, right? Is he still here in this room?
Yeah, possibly.
You said,
Are you still
you
there?
said-
I said it was Villanueva.
Yeah.
Right?
Ah.
He said you said it right.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
Okay.
and I'm dumb, So you got demoted in the brain department.
Hey, Matthias. Glad to have you from Argentina.
Ooh,
So
Argentina up in this house.
How are we gonna start this? Were you
Well-
just gonna talk about some freaky stuff?
I was
Like-
hoping that some people would write in, but I think people are a little too scared
Well, I
to
mean,
write in.
I feel like they need to warm up a little bit.
I think
you
so
know?
too,
Yeah.
because this is our first time doing this.
Right.
And, we figured there's so much shit going on right now in the world. Might as well sit down, everybody get together, gather around a little campfire like Are You Afraid of the Dark, and talk about our, experiences.
It's like
What
an-
she means by get together is all be apart, but watch on your little screens.
Exactly.
The thing that we've all been talking about sucks. It's like, why is everybody stuck on their screens? Everybody's just focused on their screens. And now it's like, stay indoors and focus on your fucking screens.
Yeah, just focus on your fucking screens. Oh, we got a comment here.
Yeah, Villeneuve. Jean-Pierre Villeneuve.
Well, all right. I apologize, Jean-Pierre. That's my bad. I am from the deep south. I'm what you might refer to as a redneck.
Chase is in here, my buddy Chase. Hey, Chase.
Oh, hey,
Shut up,
Chase.
Chase.
What's up?
Chase is a horror fan. He likes the ghost stories
So then-
and stuff.
this is perfect for him then.
Yes.
Chase, if you have a ghost story, you should write in so that tell us one of your, paranormal experiences so we can read yours live. That was one big thing I would love to do is have people write in if you guys have a ghost
Email,
story.
That is.
Yeah,
that's what
write
she means
in.
by write in.
You know,
with a calligraphy pen up in the bitch.
Mail it to us, please.
Just mail it to us, like postmark it to us. But have you?
I have a, you could record.
Darryl, Ibarra.
Read it.
It
Darryl.
says.
Okay, so we just received an email from Alejandro Ibarra. I hope I'm saying that right. It says, can you go from a childhood full of monsters, aliens, in those mythologies, and you just don't believe until you see it now? It makes sense. No, I think it totally makes sense,
But his question is, is that a question?
Oh, yeah, is it possible?
Right. I mean, I don't think either way. I mean, religion is like a huge part of the world we live in. Like, I feel like it's either way, there's going to be some disbelief or belief, and then you just have to rely on faith. You know what I mean? Like, when it comes to any of that shit.
And like, trust yourself. Like, if you've, seen something, or have an experience that's ongoing,
Right. I mean, it's the people that think it's set in stone are the assholes. I think.
Yeah.
I mean, cynically, I'm like, I don't believe in God, but then I'm like, well, I believe in ghosts, so I kind of believe in God.
You
also.
believe in a higher power.
Like,
sure.
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't believe in a traditional sense where it's like, hey, pray to God. I'm gonna give him 13 Facebook prayers and he's gonna fix my life now or whatever.
Right.
Is that how people sound?
That's how people sound. What seriously.
You mean the blonde hair, blue-eyed Jesus?
Yeah, the Keanu Reeves Jesus.
The white Jesus?
Yes.
I have to show you this picture. I got to show you this picture from this church that I installed some video work for. They had this big picture of Jesus, a painting, and it straight looks like Keanu Reeves.
Like riding
on this horse, this white horse holding this sword.
And he's muscular.
It just looks like Keanu Reeves. And I'm like,
this sounds like a Bible story they forgot to tell us.
Yeah.
Maybe they killed his horse and he's coming for you.
And he's coming for you.
And he needs Facebook prayers.
Give me your Facebook prayers. God.
Fuel me with your Facebook prayer.
So, I mean, to answer, I guess, hardcore the question, I would say it really just depends on, what your childhood, what experiences you had in your childhood, right? Is that what I'm kind of hearing?
Yeah, definitely.
Like if you had, enough experiences, I feel like, it's hard to not, believe as an adult, because you're like, dude, all this stuff happened, unless you just were like, I was crazy back then, if it just stops happening like altogether, and you stop seeing anything,
I mean, there's a lot of people that have gone through, especially as like children. They say that children are very like susceptible to seeing things.
Yeah.
And animals. So your dog's like barking at stuff. You're in this house. You don't know the history of it. There's so many things that children have seen that, their parents don't normally believe them, but it's still in their memory and they will remember it for the rest of their lives.
Right. I mean, like I still believe it's the part. I think it's the opposite for me. Is in like now that I'm grown up, I like have to suppress the fact that I do believe, so I could fucking walk down the hallway and this without being scared as shit.
Without like seeing like Valak the nun at the hallway.
Oh yeah, yeah. I had a friend tell me that it was her. She used to have sleep paralysis.
Ooh.
Oh my God.
And she said there was a time that it happened and it like came in the form of like this old lady and the hag. And then she said it reached out and started tickling her. And she said that's whenever she like finally could force herself to wake up because she was like, oh hell no, this old bitch is trying to tickle me.
But that's funny that you said that it was an old lady because in sleep paralysis, the sleep paralysis demon, if you even like go on Wikipedia, sometimes it shows itself as an old hag that sits on your chest.
Yeah.
And like messes with you.
Right.
It's like a poltergeist that. Have you ever seen actually the documentary Nightmare?
I think I have, but I was also doing something while watching it.
Okay.
So I wasn't 100%.
Well, if anybody out there has suffered from sleep paralysis or knows anybody who suffers from sleep paralysis, you should watch the documentary Nightmare. And it's intense. Intense.
Yeah, I didn't make it through that.
Yeah, no, he could not make it through that. Like, we were both like, holy shit, because what people see, and everybody, and it's from people around the world who have encountered these experiences with the supernatural, paranormal, and they all kind of see or experience the same thing.
Yeah.
It's really interesting.
So our boy Jeff here, he gave us a really interesting fun fact that I would like to read here.
Okay.
So he says, fact for you guys. On average, 700 people every day come back from the dead and either went to heaven or hell. And when they come back, they have a story to tell.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
I've heard of that too. Yeah. There's plenty of people who have experienced that as well. Like they've had near-death experiences. They've flatlined on the table and then come back and say that they've experienced bright lights or have seen God or have seen the devil or have seen family members telling them it's not their time yet. I've definitely read a bunch of stories about that before. I think it's really interesting. If you guys have any more of your personal stories, please send it to our email, empyreanlights@gmail.com. And we'd love to read your story or an experience or question maybe that we could possibly answer. We've seen a few things though in our travels, or experienced a few things in our travels, just like as touring musicians, because you're everywhere. Sometimes you're playing places like theaters that are have a history of being haunted, or you've seen on like, those paranormal shows like Ghost Hunters and Kindred Spirits and etc. And Ricky and I, we went down. Were you there when we went down? We were in like Buffalo, New York. We played this old theater, and they took us downstairs into the basement. We were on tour with August Burns.
Oh yeah, it was like the old mob, old mobster basement or whatever.
And there's a crucifix that apparently moves around this basement. Really creepy. And it's just little things like that, or like the catwalk was haunted or something. But actually, we just watched that episode of Kindred Spirits where they did an episode of what is it called? Asbury Park in New Jersey. I used to go to see a bunch of shows there. I played at Asbury Park. It's really creepy. And it's like, so being on tour, you're in so many different spots and there's so many different emotions and so many different energies all in one spot.
Yeah.
I
mean, the way
and
like
overseas.
It's, I probably have said this a lot. I mean, we talk about ghost stuff a lot, but like the way that I see it is like, okay, so like even if it's from like a scientific standpoint, I've definitely opened my computer up and like seen a screen that was like, what the hell? And it looks like my Facebook from like a year ago or some shit. And I've definitely seen some weird shit like that. And then it like flashed and then it was normal. So I was like, if I could open up my computer screen and it could like run weird and show me like a past image on accident, then who's to say that our own reality, you can't do the same thing. You can't accidentally see some shit that was just like a stain of what used to be there or a person that used to be there. And like when we die, they say that our energy is never really gone. When we die, it has to go somewhere. So like who's to say that, you lived in one house your whole life and you always went downstairs to get a cup of coffee right after you took a big old shit when you woke up. And when you die after doing that, after 100 years, doing it every day, who's to say you can't see that shit happen again? Because that energy is still like doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
So it's like an afterlife skid mark.
Right.
Yes.
It's like a doo-doo stain on reality and We reality a bunch. This still got that skid mark going on.
It's just like we have to make this fun, guys. We always have to make shit fun. It just
Paranormal people are shitting themselves right now if they're watching.
It's like that time when Darryl just wanted to play all Slipknot songs.
I don't know why that was so goddamn funny.
Because it was.
Okay, should we tell that story real quick?
Sick band name, the Afterlife Skid Marks.
Is there any other questions? Or
Oh yeah, Chase sent me something.
Okay, cool.
I'm gonna try and remember how to read something. Okay, he sent me the story. I don't know what he wants me to read it, but I don't know. Chase.
So shout out to Chase Gray.
Chase Gray, what up? So I'm just gonna read this, and then you have to.
And we'll talk about it, and we'll talk about and discuss.
Okay, I feel like that dude in 8th grade.
Yeah.
I'm like
public speaking class.
I read books once. Young girl is home alone for the first time with only her dog as company. Listening to the news, she hears of a killer on the loose in her neighborhood. Terrified, she locks all the doors and windows, but she forgets about the basement window, and it's been left unlocked. She goes to bed, taking her dog to her room with her, letting it sleep under her bed. She wakes up. She wakes in the night to hear a dripping sound coming from the bathroom. The dripping noise frightens her. She's too scared to get out of the bed and find out what it is. To reassure herself, she reaches a hand to the floor for the dog and is rewarded by a reassuring lick on the hand. The next morning when she wakes, she goes to the bathroom for a drink of water, only to find her dead, mutilated dog hanging in the shower with its bloody body, or its body with blood slowly dripping into the tiles. On the shower wall, written in the dog's blood, are the words, "Humans can lick too."
Ooh.
So.
Fuck.
That's a creepy one.
Was it a ghost? Was it a,
It was the escaped convict. Remember at the beginning of the story?
Ah, yes, the escaped convict. But what happens if he died and he escaped in his death?
What probably happened was or I'll stir up, but the grudge lives there.
The grudge definitely lives there, and he's like,
"Oh."
That is a good one, and is creepy as fuck, especially because freaky things happen with people who are not mentally stable. As you know, one of my good friends is obsessed with serial killers and serial killer podcasts, and she tells me all the time. She's like, "You're so into the paranormal. You know what's really fucking scary? Real people are fucking scary." And I'm like, agreed. But inhuman spirits and ghosts and shit can be fucking scary. Aliens are fucking scary. You should tell that story that we were on tour when you and Eli were driving the van out in the desert and what you both saw.
Mm-hmm.
This is, a UFO.
Yeah, so I guess UFOs are considered paranormal.
It's paranormal, supernatural, the bang, shebang, bang, bang.
I mean, it's all under the sci-fi horror section.
No,
Netflix.
it's actually under the Travel Channel.
Oh, it's both.
/ History Channel.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Pretty much the entire Travel Channel, History Channel has become all the paranormal shows, which I binge watch.
Ancient Aliens is definitely on the History Channel.
Mm-hmm. It was aliens.
And that guy's hair is amazing. I would believe anything.
It's aliens.
Aliens did it. So Eli, our merch guy, while I was in I Wrestled a Bear once, he and I were kind of like driving buddies, and I was driving at this time, and he was riding shotgun, and we were definitely driving through the desert in New Mexico. So I mean, it was just couldn't have been like more perfect, set up for the story. And we're just driving through
You're like in Roswell.
Yeah, I mean it's like
perfect.
Yeah.
Just like look over, I'm like, where are we again? Like, oh,
you in Roswell, bitch.
And
Eli looked over and said, "Do you like scary movies?
You want to play a game?" But yeah, so I'm like driving, And I just like look out, and on the horizon at the very bottom, we see this like light come from like, I guess, the horizon line. And it comes up into the top right, area of the windshield. And it just like sat there for like 20, 30 seconds. And then it like shot across the top of our viewing windshield area all the way across to where we couldn't see it anymore, to the left. And like, I'm just like staring at it, like watch it do its thing this whole time. And then I just like slowly like turned and like looked at Eli and was like, did you see that? And he goes, and he just had this like look on his face, like of just like terror. Like I don't know if he like didn't believe in aliens or something, but I mean, like I definitely did, so like for me, I was like, that was amazing. And I had this like look like, that was incredible. Yeah. And I was like, did you see that? And like he just looked terrified. He was like, yeah.
Meanwhile, all of our asses are passed out the back, sleeping, dreaming of like eating and sleeping in the real beds and showering.
Dreaming about dreaming.
Yeah.
Because we're not.
Hopefully, hoping we don't end up like rolling the van over.
Daydreaming with our eyes shut about dreaming in actual sleep.
Yes.
So yes.
With our eyes wide shut.
I mean,
with our butts shut.
That's just like, it's creepy. And that goes back to the whole, us being on tour and being in different spots of the world. Some extremely fucking old, and seeing things, like experiencing creepy fucking things,
Yeah.
Like it was like a gift and a curse at the same time. Do we have anybody else wanting to write in?
Yeah, so guys, I'm sorry. I am following all of the comments that are coming in. Y'all keep them coming in.
Can I talk about this year's addiction story?
Yeah. So Chris is gonna tell her story here. And while that's going on, I will, try responding to some of these chats. Right. All right.
Okay. Let me wet my whistle here just for a second. Mm-hmm. So this is a story from back in the day when I was living at home on Long Island. I was in a band on Long Island called This Year's Addiction. And at the time, my sister Mim, who is also in Empyrean Lights, was in the band. And we all used to go to this super, super old cemetery on the North Shore of Long Island near a town called Port Jeff and Sound Beach area. And so what ended up happening was we went to the graveyard one night because there was a statue of a little boy with angel wings. And in his hand, he was holding a baseball for his gravesite. And his name was not coming to me now, but it will come back to me. I actually have, if my sister gets on, I asked my sister, Thomas Riker, Thomas J. Riker. There we go, Thomas J. Riker. And so us being like young kids, we're all just so gassy today. We're so gassy.
Just so gassy.
So gassy. Us being young kids and in a band, we're like, we're metal. Yeah, whatever. Well, we decided to always go and visit Thomas J. Riker and have a little picnic and drink a little and, have a little fun at this gravesite. Now, we're all sitting out there as a band, and our friend Elliot was with us, and we just start hearing this like loud growling coming from behind the graveyard, which was deemed as Satan's woods. So back in the day, there used to be these like old like summer homes all over Long Island, where a lot of celebrities and people who lived out, artists, musicians in New York City would come to summer. And it was on the cliffs. Well, those all got, torn down. People were doing like freaky shit out there. And we're sitting there hanging out and we just start hearing this growling sound. And we're like, what the fuck was that? And it kept getting louder and louder and closer, to the point where all of us literally got up and started fucking running across this graveyard, scared as shit. I can still hear the growling sound. Like, it felt like it was right behind me. And we were so scared that we were gonna like trip over some gravestones. And now, mind you, I don't know how old this cemetery is, but it's Long Island. Long Island is super fucking old. The actual graveyard is in a Long Island Oddities book that I have, which I was really surprised because it was like, that all makes sense. It lines up. So we ran so freaking fast out of that graveyard, jumped in the car, went back to our practice spot, and we're all like sitting there like, did you guys really feel that? Did that really just fucking happen? It was like super fucking scary. But, you know, what is going on?
Mute it.
Hold on. Sorry.
So I was like, oh my God, it's coming from that. No, it's not. It's coming from you. And that was that. I mean, I still have gone back there. I still have pictures of Thomas J's, you know, the little boy with the angel wings holding the baseball. And we would bring him little presents and stuff, leave him like little, you know, Hot Wheel cars and whatnot. But that was like a creepy freaking time, man. Like a creepy time. And every single time I go back there, you know, I'm like, oh my God, if Mim's back in town with me, I'm like, do you remember that time that this happened? But I've never gone back to that, you know, graveyard since. Plus now I live in Texas, so it's kind of hard for me to get there. But we do pass it a lot, and I always still get the chills whenever I'm back home on Long Island. That's my story for that one little period of time. I do have a lot of other creepy shit that has happened, but little story. Anybody else got any fun story?
I got stories for days.
You the store, man. You like the mother goose of the paranormal.
There should be tour stories with Rich.
I wish I could whistle.
And I'm like,
Right.
gather around and let me tell a story about I used to tour.
One day, when
I
you're,
wrote
if
my
you're
own
missing,
one.
when you're 80, that's what you're
Yeah.
going to look like and sound like.
One day, Chris, they used to be creepy in hotels. Anyway, Krista used to,
God.
for one, Krista used to be super fucking weird whenever we would stay in hotel rooms and
I
stuff.
still am. You can ask
She
him.
would be like, first, another thing is whenever she's asleep, she starts being like she's
Still happens.
She's literally asleep, but then she'll do things, and then this really squeaky mogwai voice is the one that answers back. So you're like, yeah. So you're like, Krista, what are you doing?
Yeah.
But we used to stay in hotel rooms when we were on tour, and I would just like wake up in the middle of the night to her like staring at me, pointing, just like. I'm like, oh my God, this is the most fucked up situation.
She is possessed by the devil.
Yeah. It's
She just looks at you and she's like,
Ricky. She's like, drag me to hell. I'm the drag me to the hell gypsy lady.
We actually sat in front of that lady on a plane going to fucking St. Pete, Florida.
oh God.
We're
Really
like,
good.
he was like, "It's the drag me to hell lady." And I'm like,
She was like,
oh God.
like spitting in her fucking handkerchief and everything. And then
Drag
like,
me to hell, dude.
That's a good fucking movie.
Dude, I like
Dude.
that movie. Sam Raimi, dude.
but
Sam
then,
Raimi's
but then like at one point, so like we're sitting in the plane, like just waiting for it to like move, you know, and like it does its initial, like, you know, kind of like,
We're going.
like
We're
we're
not.
like it
We're
was
not.
like
We're not.
I guess but yeah, and like as soon as it like, just moved a little bit, she literally like shit herself and freaked out. Like was just like, like grabbing everything, like what's happening?
And she was definitely farting on the plane too, which made it even freakier because I'm like, this woman's dead. She's not even alive. Like you can smell her rotting corpse. She's just like a fucking ghost from hell on this plane. And she was just like the entire time. And you're like, Krista, I said, drag me down, lady. And I lost my shit. Like literally lost my shit. Started laughing my ass off. What's ooh about?
Hold on. Uno momento, por favor.
Okay. Yeah, lots of stuff have happened. Sometimes we would stay at like hostels and shit, and that was crazy.
Oh, but I mean, another part is
we didn't
like
get hostel.
There's a few times where we stayed in some really creepy hotels, and you were like, after we left, you're like, oh well, Ricky, I feel like I saw an old man in the corner of the room.
I probably did.
Or I felt like there was someone there talking to me when we all were asleep. I'm like, what the fuck, Krista?
Dude.
But at least you didn't tell me while I was trying to sleep.
Well,
You know what I
I'd
mean?
let you rest. But
Yeah.
I mean, since I was a kid, my mom told me a story that I was in my crib and I was talking about a lady named Elizabeth, but I couldn't say her name correctly because obviously I'm a fucking baby. And and so I would talk about this woman, and my mom started telling both my grandparents about it, and then my grandmother told me that was like her great grandmother's or grandmother's name, so my great grandmother's name was Elizabeth, and I would talk to her through my crib, and my mom would hear me like giggling and clapping at her and speaking to her and trying to say her name.
Say my name. Bastion.
Tell me your
name. Tell me your name.
You know, from The Conjuring 2.
Guys.
I know your name.
You Valak in that movie.
Valak's like,
Oh,
"Hey!"
I always used to be like, whenever the exorcism of Emily Rose. That's
Oh,
what he was
yes.
like. She's like, tell me your name. And then he's like, and then we kept saying a bunch of different names. Seven, Satan, Lucifer, or whatever. 1, 2, 3, 4.
No, okay, so we literally just fucking watched that movie not that long ago, and we started having like a funny little thing that we do with each other. About that. You have to do your impression when she's like, Emily.
She's eating the spiders.
She's eating the spiders, and she's like, hey. And then she just jumps up. She's like, like fucking wall.
Wow.
Emily. I want to play a possessed girl so goddamn bad in the movie. Justin Beasley, where you at?
Yeah. I always had this video idea to where it's like, you could do it all in the same house. Like you just do pretty much like a guy comes to a priest and it's like asking for help. And then you go inside the house and, like there's like a girl in the bed and she's like sweating and like,
Why is she sweating?
Because she's possessed by the goddamn devil.
Oh, the goddamn devil.
But anyways, like towards the end of the video, you got like the bitch coming out, the bitch popping out of the bed, like, and then being like, like Evil Dead style.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's shit flying around the room. Not shit.
Actual books.
Oh,
okay.
Like books and
Like
stuff.
just books.
Not dog shit.
But it'd be like a cult book.
Wouldn't it be her shit?
I mean,
Could be.
It's all fantasy we're talking about.
What about books covered in shit?
Okay, there could be shit on the books.
Or
I don't know
books
why.
that are made of skin covered in shit.
First of all, why would a book end up where shit is?
Because it's flying through the air.
People also like to read on the toilet.
All right.
Like everybody's got shit flakes on their phone, so
Anytime
that's
you
true.
Phone to the toilet.
Technically, anytime you breathe in a fart, you're breathing in someone's
Future
shit
shit.
particles.
Yeah, so if you're like,
But you're breathing in shit particles.
yeah.
Ugh.
Because it's a molecule that causes the smell.
Right.
So it's a tiny, tiny particle
This is
of
scientific.
actual shit that you're breathing in.
So you're saying that we're all filthy pigs
pretty much.
walking
Humans are
around
disgusting.
in filth.
Like I just released gas from my stomach just by burping.
Mhm.
You guys are smelling my My gas.
Your insides.
My insides.
Your guts.
Disgusting.
And
Oh
it's
my
smelling
God.
my
all
guts.
up on this mic right now. All up on it. I mean,
Let's get to some more stories, I guess.
yeah,
We're
let's talk
gonna
about some more
let's talk about
freaky
some
things.
ghost
Even though,
stuff.
books flying around the room covered in fucking feces is scary.
Right.
Because I would find that scary.
I could tell a story from like the first time that I was like, maybe ghosts are real.
You should.
Okay.
You should tell this tale. A tale with Uncle Ricky.
Okay, everyone close your eyes. I'm going to paint you a picture. I'm in 8th grade, and I live in a small town where they harass you for drug abuse at all times.
Isn't that the town that the tornado came through and destroyed your high school?
It was called Hoisington, Kansas, and I lived there. And to get a Deftones album unedited, I drove an hour and a half. So it was really in the middle of nowhere. Right?
Your childhood sucked.
Oh my God, you're telling me, buddy. Shit.
I've really got a beautiful image of this.
Okay.
Are you watching like The Night of the Twisters though with Devon Sawa on your head though?
No. Twister.
But Night of the Twisters with Devon Sawa was a Lifetime movie.
Yeah, it doesn't matter because Twister was the poster boy for Kansas because it was filmed in
Right.
Oklahoma and Kansas.
All fucking Bill Paxton and Helen Punt the Cunt Hunt.
I'm Bill Paxton.
Game over, man.
Rest your soul.
Now I have to tell
Bill
that story
Paxton.
first.
Okay.
Remember when we went to Universal that
Yes!
one time and we did
We
the
went to
Twister
Twister ride.
experience?
Yeah.
And
Oh, Bill Paxton.
yeah, the best part of the ride is like they show you this reel of all these tornadoes and Twister, in the making of it, and then Bill Paxton walks up. He walks up and then pops his hip, and he's like, "I'm Bill Paxton," and he's like, "Y'all ever been scared of a tornado?"
I remember that. We're all just like shitting ourselves laughing.
Right.
Because it was funny and all these families are like, Bill Paxton, Universal Studios, we're happy.
Yeah. But there's definitely a cow that flies across the room and
yes,
that experience.
Yes.
It was awesome. Back to the story.
Back to the story.
Everybody who has your eyes closed still.
Mine were closed.
Mine were
Okay.
Off
closed.
track.
I bet I
So,
feel like everybody needs to be closed. but
I
I'm
grew up in a
still
really
freaking-
small town where like you get harassed because there's nothing to do, by the cops and stuff. Anyways, me and two of my good friends, we started playing Ouija board, right? And we always told each other like, yo, if we're gonna play Ouija board together, you're my best friend. If it's not gonna work, then it's just gonna sit there and our hands are gonna stay still. Right? Because we were like, I want to trust you. I want to, I don't want to feel like I'm being tricked into thinking that the Ouija board is real. So we ended up getting a Ouija board from this girl that we knew who was also very creepy. And she claimed to live in a haunted house and she'd use the Ouija board and shit like that. So we started using it. And the first time we ever used it, nothing happened. All of our hands just sat there and we were like, oh, well, at least we know that none of us were fucking with each other, blah, blah, blah. Then we tried again like a couple nights later, and then it started moving like very slowly. And it definitely felt like very tuggish, like to where I was like, so I'm not doing that. And everybody else is like, I'm not doing it either. Then we played a couple nights later, always trying just like something. Eventually it started moving like a lot faster. All right. So there was one day I went to my friend Ian's house and we were playing Ouija board in his room, and it's like this thing telling us it's a spirit that lives in his house and it's always lived there.
Oh
and
God.
then, he's like, are you a bad spirit? And it's like, no. And we're like, how'd you die? And it said 8 glue. And we're like, this is weird.
So it's a crackhead.
yeah, I'd be sniffing glue. And then they found a body. No, the bodies are in the walls. And you've been living here. But anyways, so it was working and it was fine. And 2 of these girls came over. Keep in mind, we're like freshmen in high school or whatever. There's these 2 girls over and we're playing. Carrie, the girl that I said was weird. And I mean, she's not necessarily weird, but she played Ouija board and she's claimed to live in a haunted house, all that shit. So she left the room and it stopped working. So we're like, oh man, that's weird. So we followed her into the kitchen in the dining room area, and it starts working again. And we're like, okay, that's weird. then we start saying like, prove yourself. If you're real, prove yourself, you know. And finally it kind of starts dying down because we're just like getting bored. And Carrie, the girl that lived in the haunted house or whatever, she's playing it and it says PHON.
Phone.
And she's like, you mean phone? And as soon as she said, you mean phone, it was like, and we all kind of like threw our shit up, like, whoa. And then my buddy answered the phone, nothing but dial tone. So it was like, that was probably the weirdest thing that's ever happened to me because I'm like sitting there playing the Ouija board. She's like, phone, ring, right at the same time. Also, whenever they would make me take the Ouija board home because they were all like, my parents are religious or my parents don't like you or whatever.
My parents don't like you. Your parents are cool and won't know.
Yeah. So anyways, I took the Ouija board home and I would definitely wake up in the middle of the night and feel like there's someone in my room and shit.
Did you ever hear like the planchette?
No, I wouldn't keep the planchette.
That's
on
smart.
No,
never keep the planchette.
On it. But yeah, definitely felt weird. There was at least one time where I woke up and it was 3 a.m. and I felt super fucking creeped out by that.
And that's like the witching hour.
Yeah. So that was.
And 3 is the mark of the Holy Trinity.
Like even if
Holy Trinity.
And even in modern day, like we have cell phones and all that shit, you could try and pull a prank like that. Like, let's just say you were like, I'm going to get the phone ring at the exact same time I say phone, but you have to have a cell phone. It would still be hard even with cell phones, but we were in 8th grade. You know what I mean?
Wow. Yeah.
And I'm old. So I'm 36. That was a long time ago. So and there was no caller, or the caller ID said nothing. It was like zeros all the way across because it was like, and so yeah. So ever since then, I was like, Ouija boards are super weird to me, and I kind of believe in all that jazz. You know what I mean?
Well, that's what they say, like that they're a way to communicate, and you can make it out of anything. You can make it out of the fucking cut open a cereal box and make a Ouija board. It's a way to quote unquote talk with the spirits. Who was it? Was it Thomas Edison who was trying to design the spirit phone to talk to the dead? And this was before he passed away. He designed this model, the spirit phone, where he was trying, because back then a lot of people were doing like seances. Like that was a big thing, was to gather around a table that looks exactly like this table, and people would do seances, and people would claim that there'd be like ectoplasm coming out of them, hence one of the inspirations for Ghostbusters, the ectoplasm, etc. Like the spiritual thing back in like the early days, like I'm talking about the 20s to the 40s, was huge, and people were always trying to contact the dead. And that was like their way, using a Ouija boards or psychics, medium sensitives, tarot cards, but they're all gateways. And if they're not used properly, I mean, they shouldn't honestly technically be used at all, but if they're not used properly or properly stored, then you're fucking with a whole bunch of shit. And, us kids back in like the 90s and early 2000s, we're like, oh, fuck, man. I'm gonna contact my dead grandpa, tell him how much I miss his ass. But then really you're talking like fucking Captain Howdy, and you're fucking Reagan from the goddamn Exorcist now 2 weeks later, and you're fucking throwing up pea soup all over the goddamn place, That's a crazy fucking experience for you. Like now, like I understand why like that freaked you the fuck out, because that would have freaked me out too.
Yeah. That was like one of those times where I was like, yeah, I believe in this shit. It's weird.
Yeah.
It's happening.
Yeah.
Dude, like I think Japanese culture, the Japanese believe in spirits sticking around. They even think that if you face your bed going facing east, like off the wall of your room, that spirits can enter your room. Like spirits can possess you. Like that's why they make all the good fucking horror movies, man. Like The Grudge,
Yeah. Grudge is tight. The new one sucked.
The new one sucked balls.
I know. It was so
we were gonna watch it, but
I wanted.
Actually, no, we started it,
Mm-hmm.
but we were so freaking bored.
It was not good. Not good at all. Actually, here in Denton, where we're at right now, there is a really creepy place. It's called the Goatman Bridge. Remember?
Yeah, that's right.
Mhm.
Yeah, I've been there.
You've been there?
Yeah.
Did you ever see anything or feel anything? No.
We actually went there.
Fucked by the goat man.
Were you? Did you have sexual intercourse with the Goatman?
We went there on Halloween and just got chilled out and had a beer
With the goat
with
man.
Goatman. Did you offer him something?
No.
He's like, I want a soul, not a goddamn beer.
He's like,
I don't
hey,
want
remember
you
the
for it.
80s?
I love you if you were born in the 80s. The 80s. I was singing Calvin Harris.
I know.
got-
I noticed that.
Thanks. I was just listening to that song today. It reminded me of you.
If I heard something like that, I would still be scared. If I went to Goatman Bridge and I was like, "Goatman, are you there?" and he was like, "Hey, Ricky, remember the 80s?" I would be like, "Ah!"
And then like Calvin Harris song keeps playing in the background. Like, oh my God, what would you do? I was interested in that because I found out about the Goatman Bridge from BuzzFeed. What is it called? Those two dudes that do like creepy things about on BuzzFeed, and they're hilarious. And one's really, really, really scared, and one's super skeptic. And he like
It's
taunts
the Asian dude
them.
and the
Yes.
guy.
And
Yeah.
they taunt the
They're
fuck
funny.
out, and he taunts the fuck out. I was like, no, dude, what the fuck are you doing, man? And they actually went to Goatman Bridge.
Is it like the Try Guys or whatever?
No,
Yeah.
it's
Forgot
like,
their names.
Yeah, I can't remember what they're called, but like, it's
Dude,
one of the funniest like paranormal shows ever.
Time
out.
Sorry.
So let's
Okay, let's go to questions.
Y'all want to read a couple things
Yeah,
here?
let's read some things.
So let's see. Dan Rods said that his dad saw a Grim Reaper approaching him and his old friend when they were 22 years old, right behind a graveyard while they were driving by it. Also, I fucking love you guys.
Aw,
Wow. That's creepy.
that is
very
really
creepy.
creepy.
It reminds me
The
of that
Frighteners
video.
Is one of my favorite movies.
Yeah, Frighteners is
Was
great.
the Frighteners is amazing. Jake Busey is amazing in that, and that's what I
Yeah.
told him. I was like, I love you, Frighteners, and he's like, what? And like at PCU. Anyway, getting back to the Grim Reaper, like was it a shadow figure? Was it cloaked?
Well, it makes me think about that video that we saw on Paranormal. What's it called?
Paranormal
Caught on camera.
Yeah.
Where they were in that graveyard
Yes.
and they saw that like
apparition
apparition that
of
had like the
something.
cloak type
Yeah.
stuff.
Well, what did they say about that? Actually, they said that there was a lot of the times that people have reported. There has been reports, from what I can recall, of people seeing like cloaked, hooded figures walking around graveyards. Not sure why, but that's why it's fucking paranormal. And there's always something out there to maybe explain it, maybe not. I don't know. But that is a creepy fucking story, and I got a visual, and that's creepy.
And then,
thank you for sharing that with us.
Yeah. I want to jump back up here. So Carmen from Australia.
Oh, what's up, Carmen?
Yeah.
I just
Carmen,
wrote
thanks
you
for
back
tuning
not that
in.
long ago.
She got on. She said, "Hi from Australia. I used to live in a haunted house.
Ooh.
Unexplained noises, shadows in the hall, etc.
Mhm.
It wasn't until years later that I found out it used to be the old police station holding cells from convict times."
Wow.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So lots of
taking turns pissing
Mhm.
in the bitch's ocular cavities.
That's
Some great toilet wine was made in these rooms.
that is like a reoccurring
Every time
haunting. It's just
Every time I pour a glass of water, it tastes like piss wine.
sangria from a toilet.
oh god, moonshine. But seriously though, that's like a reoccurring haunting. There's so many emotions and just people being terrified being in these holding cells. Like they don't know what's going to happen next. And Australia is pretty fucking old, man. I mean, back in the day, if you think about Australia's history, it was convicts, a lot of people who were convicted of doing bad things, and they from the UK that they shipped over to Australia. You know, like they were like, "You're going to this beautiful place with beautiful wildlife."
Austria.
Yeah. So we're going to hold you there. So
this is beautiful.
Again, it's like extremely historical. Carmen, when was that house built? Like, did they tear down the police station and was the house rebuilt on the grounds, or did they turn the police station into a home? And do you know of the year it was possibly built?
Or like, were you living there and there was like bars and stuff?
Or did anybody possibly pass away in that place? You never know.
Was it obviously a prison and you were living there?
Did they spit bars? Was it a ghost of a rapper?
of Chance, the rapper?
By chance.
Also, Krista, you'll like this question.
Okay.
Because I know this is your favorite movie. Have you seen The Witch? That movie is amazing for a recent horror movie. I love the Old English, but you'll probably need subtitles for the first watch.
I did not like The Witch.
Such a tragedy.
We have this discussion all the fucking time.
We do.
But the storyline is creepy. I thought it was gonna go somewhere else. Like, I want James Wan up on that shit with like the Insidious monster being like behind it. You know what I'm saying? That's creepy to me.
Like, you wanted more.
I wanted more. I expected more.
But see, that was the thing to me that made it so great, is because you thought there was gonna be more.
But there wasn't.
And
I was like, what the fuck is this? I want my life back. You know?
So you were just more disappointed that you didn't get what you wanted.
Okay, so I felt the same. I felt kind of the same way about it because I was falling asleep during the movie.
Thank you.
It was like after a long day at work, we put it on. I'm like, fucking dozing off. But then I was like, towards the end, I'm like, okay, this was still cool. But damn, I was sleepy the whole time. You know what I mean?
That's exactly how I felt. I was like, when is this going to end?
Krista's wants some James Wan, Aquaman and shit. You know what I'm
dude.
saying?
I wanted like the demon from Insidious to just make an appearance. Like,
yeah.
You know?
And pull out a lightsaber.
Yeah.
And pull out a lightsaber. Exactly.
Darth Maul it up.
I mean, I personally thought it reminded me a little bit of The Village, and I liked The Village.
Right.
I thought that was a sick movie. But I was like, okay, people trash The Village. Yet they're like, everybody's like, oh, The Witch is so phenomenal. And I'm like, phenomenon. Hell no. Like, I just couldn't it wasn't my thing. I'm going to give it another chance. I will give it another chance, of course.
Can we go on record and say, when will that be that you'll give it another
We can
chance?
do it this week, and we can talk about it next week.
All right.
I will.
So you heard it here first, people. Next Freaky Friday, Krista will have watched The Witch, and we will have enough to talk about it.
I am the witch, bitch.
Also, I would agree with our Darryl here that I loved, The Village.
Oh yeah, The Village
was an amazing movie,
great.
Which is probably also why I like The Witch. Very similar movies.
Kinda.
That movie, The Lighthouse, that's the guy who did The Witch, I think.
Oh, is that got all?
That's so The Lighthouse is Robert Pattinson.
I've wanted to see that.
And Norman Osborn.
Mm-hmm.
What's his name?
Norman Osborn.
You know who I'm talking
Which
about.
one?
Yes.
Norman Osborn, fucking.
No, he's not related to Ozzy Osbourne.
No, he's making a Spider-Man reference.
Yeah, you remember. You must kill Spider-Man. No.
No. Oh, yes.
No.
God, what is his name?
God damn it. William Dafoe?
Yeah, William.
Yeah!
No,
Willem.
Carmen, you were wrong. It's Willem.
We're not going to name him fucking William. His name is Willem.
That's my favorite
Willem Wallace.
fucking scene, though. Like,
Willem,
I've always
Willem Wallace.
Willem, when he's like looking in the mirror and he's talking to himself, and he's like, we must kill Spider-Man. No, we can't do that. Yes.
I'm like, kill him. I'll never. It was like Smeagol. It was like Gollum talking to himself. Master loves us.
Yeah.
Master
hates him.
But he would never hurt us.
He stole our precious. Creepy summer.
He's like, no, not listening. That's what I do every time a ghost shows up in my fucking bedroom. I go, no,
That's
not
what
listening.
I feel like that's what like social justice warrior people are like. It's
Yes.
like, you don't actually believe what you're typing, but I must defend them.
I'm going to put your feet under the bed.
Not listening. Nope, not listening. La 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 la.
Like being complete denial.
There's a lot going in these comments, man.
Yeah, man. These comments are cracking. So someone
like-
agreed with you. The
cracking like
lighthouse
the Kraken.
is awesome. That would be our Darryl. He said, lighthouse. Is
Oh,
awesome.
hey, I saw a question on there earlier. You know, I wanted to bring up. You know, somebody was rumoring that I might play with y'all. You know?
Yeah. Should we just break the rumor?
I mean, we might as well.
Since
I mean,
we're here
Yeah.
all together, quarantined together.
Alone together.
See, I feel like we're just like, okay, well, if we're gonna die, let's just die together at least. Like we can talk about memories and be like, remember that time, Ricky, that you got lost in Bratislava? I'm so sorry.
That seemed like a paranormal.
That was a
experience
paranormal experience for you.
because I left my body for several hours.
Yeah, you fucking did. And then we went to Bone Church,
Yeah. Then we went to Bone Church and it was fucking extra cold in that place.
and then you were like, I am dead.
A lot of ghosts in there.
This is my hell.
Yeah.
I'm dying with these assholes who are gonna haunt me for the rest of my fucking
I mean,
eternity.
I feel like I should just go ahead and tell that story.
I
now,
think
now
you
that we're
should,
at it.
since
Ugh, okay.
yeah. Fine. We talk about this all the time. Well, it was Krista's birthday in Bratislava. We're getting fucked up on the
Yeah.
Sailor Jerry.
We got real tore up.
Sailor
And
Jury.
by the time that we stopped playing, I mean, we quit playing. We were like packing up the gear. Shit's almost loaded up. I was already buzzed. I was already like, ooh, feeling it. And I just so happened there was someone there that I knew, and she went to the bar and ordered 3 shots of vodka.
How did you know this person?
It was someone who was like, hey, how are you? I'm a fan of the band. And like, you know, like.
Oh, so you talked to them like, oh, hey, what's up? Thanks so much. Yeah, because you're cool like that.
And then
You're humble as fuck.
You know.
Yeah.
And then whenever finally I met her, she's like, "Oh yeah, we drink together." And I'm like, "Oh well."
Wait, do her accent again?
Oh, we drink together. Anyways, I was like,
Continue.
"Okay, cool." And she goes, 3 shots of vodka and 1 beer. And then she took the beer and goes, "These are for you." And I was like, "Holy
You're like, okay, well,
shit."
fuck my life.
I go, "I can't drink all these. I'm already drunk." And she goes, "Are you not man enough?"
Ooh,
And
she
I was like,
questioned your
so then I
manhood.
pounded all of them and blacked out immediately.
No, you didn't black out. Correction. He did not black out. He went to the corner of the room, and there's Josh Scoggin from the Chariot, comes up to me and goes, Krista, what's wrong with Rickshaw? I'm like, what do you mean what's wrong with Rickshaw? I don't know. He just keeps coming up to me and walking into walls going, Marilyn Manson, blah, 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 Marilyn Manson.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I blacked out.
No.
My soul left my body.
No,
Yeah.
you went.
No,
So Ricky went Blair Witch and walked into the corner of the fucking bar. Literally, there, I see him from above, and
I
there
think-
he is in the corner.
I don't think you know what blacking out the definition of it is.
Dude, we got all shit canned. It was my birthday. I don't even remember
I
playing.
know.
Those were 2 times I don't even remember getting on stage. Well, those 3. After leaving Amsterdam, having that goddamn
Space
space
cake.
cake. Then
You knew it.
I was literally crawling on the floor during the set. Then my fucking birthday in Bratislava, and then my other birthday because Julio got me fucked up when we were in London.
Mhm.
And I was like, I don't know what's going on. They sell 2-liter bottles of Strongbow. Woo, it's my goddamn birthday. God damn it, Julio. Okay,
But yeah.
continue with
Okay,
your
so
story.
anyways, my soul left my body, and then at about 5 a.m., I was like, found myself walking down the street, and I was like, what the hell? And then I looked at my watch, and it was like 5 a.m., and there was a huge gash on my watch, like I'd just like fallen on my wrist or something. I'm like,
You probably
okay.
did.
And then I walked for about 30 minutes, and then I found the venue where we played a show. So I was like, wow, I walked for 30 minutes away from this place and somehow ended up turning around to walk back. And there was, everyone had already left. And so I went inside. They let me back in to send some emails. Noon.
Mind you, he didn't even have a jacket. It's cold.
Didn't have a jacket.
There's wolves after him. And what? What did it say?
Our connection was unstable.
Oh, and then you were wearing a cat shirt, a purple cat shirt with laser beam coming out of his eyes, and you had just a scarf.
Oh yeah. That was the scarf era. Scarf era.
No jacket.
Yeah. And finally, at about noon, they pulled up in the vans, and they were like, "Good thing we came back because we thought we were never going to see you again."
We thought he was dead forever. And it was like you had an out of body experience. You did, because you Blair Witched it in the corner. You were talking about Marilyn Manson to Josh, and then you literally left the fucking building, had yourself you astral projected into the streets of Bratislava,
right.
And we came back, got your ass. You looked so scared, so cold, so hungry, and then we took your ass to the Bone Church, and you really thought you were dead.
Yeah, and then we went to Bone Church. If you don't know what that is, I don't know what that is. It's a church.
It's an amazing place. Creepy as fuck.
Where pretty much a bunch of people used to go there to die during the World War II times. Is that what it was, or something like that?
I think it's even older than that,
really?
Dude. I think maybe like bubonic plague fucking era.
Anyways, there was everybody held this church very sacredly, and would go there when they were sick at a certain period of time, and the bodies stacked so high at that point that they started using people's remains to finish the church and build things for the church. And so it's huge chandeliers made of human remains.
So picture a more pretty catacombs under France.
Yeah. It's super cold in there and creepy as shit. So after being hungover to where I thought I was gonna get left in a foreign country, and I didn't have my ID, I didn't have my passport or anything
like that. You didn't have shit.
Yeah. So and then we went to Bone Church. So it was so I felt comfortable after I got back with the band. But then I felt uncomfortable for the demons
that you encountered during your astral projected Bone Church experience.
Yeah, Bone Church. Remember that band we played with?
Bone Church is ready.
Bone Church. 3 minutes of playtime.
That was the best band. I remember when Mikey put Bone Church is ready on his snare.
Church is ready.
I think I got drunk a few times and said, everybody, we're Bone Church from Shreveport, Louisiana.
Now you're just being me.
No, I know.
If those people are watching.
Hey, if you guys are watching, we dug your band. We like the name. That's why we're kind of just jealous of it. What the fuck is Wrestling and Bear one?
Very jealous.
Bonesaw is ready.
But that was definitely an experience for you, because that place is freaky. So it makes a lot of sense as to why we're talking about it, because it was scary for us, because we really thought you were dead. First off, we thought you got ass raped and fucking molested and died, or you went off. Yeah, you got hostiled, and then we go and take your ass to a Bone Church. We're like, oh, we're gonna go see the beautiful Bone Church, and you're like, I'm literally in hell. Did I die with you assholes?
After that night, there's just a little clip that says 5 years later, and then you guys are in Europe for some reason, and you see me, and I'm just reprogrammed. I'm just no, I am not a rickshaw. I am Sven.
I am Sven. I live in Bone Church. Bone Church is my home now.
I have a brain disease. I am a little boy forever.
I eat goulash out of the skulls.
Someone
asked, what the fuck is wrong?
Alonso asked where they can buy the hoodie that you're wearing.
Oh.
If they want to buy this actual one that you're wearing, could they?
Yes. Because, okay, so at TeePublic, one of my favorite clothing companies, you could pick a design, and you could pick if it's a shirt or a hoodie or whatever, and then you could pick what color and all that shit. So you go by design. So TeePublic, and then type in Mortal Kombat and look through their hundreds of pages.
You said Mortal Kombat completely wrong.
Mortal Kombat.
No.
No, it's Mortal Kombat.
Fatality. Oh God.
Okay. Smoke machine.
I'm trying to think of some really other creepy things in Europe that I've seen. I mean, there's a lot of creepy things in Europe that we've seen.
Is it TeePublic? Like that?
Yeah, that's, yep. crawfish fettuccine. Oh man.
Krista does not dig on seafood, so
No, I am not the one to eat sea creatures.
she would slide that right
Oh my
on
god,
back.
I would fucking devour that shit.
That's because, dude, you're half Thai. Like, it's in your culture.
I've been on keto for
He has
over a
been.
month,
And how much?
and I need some goddamn pasta at the end of this shit.
I will totally make you some. You can technically make spiralized zucchini noodles,
Yeah, that's good.
and
But-
it's delish,
Yeah, it is.
and it's very satisfying.
I'm lazy though when it comes to cooking.
Dude, spiralizing is so easy. It takes 5 seconds.
Spiralize you.
I'll get you spiralized in the freezer section.
Spade. Neutered. Spiralize.
God. Oh my god. I'm trying to think of another creepy fucking thing. Oh, what's creepy? And this is real life creepy, which is freaky creepy, is when we went to the concentration camp. Everyone felt
Oh,
in
yeah.
Dachau
That was
in Germany. The entire tour package felt extremely creeped out, and it was not a good place. And I just felt nauseous to my stomach the entire fucking time. Not just because I sympathize and knew what happened back in the day, because I like history. However, it was just the feeling of being there. I got this really nauseous stomach pain and this headache, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. What did you feel like when you were there?
I thought it was really depressing and dark. And I had someone at work one time, they're like, yeah, on vacation, we were in like I can't remember, but they were like, as part of it, they're like, yeah, they took us to a temple, like an Aztec temple or some shit.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, it was hot and it was sweaty and I hated it. And there was nothing, there's nowhere to go pee, blah, blah, blah. It was the worst place I ever went to visit during vacation. And I was like, I got you topped.
I got you topped.
I went to Auschwitz with all my band friends.
Yeah.
It was not fun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like it was like,
it was like a bunch of people wanting to have fun, but then going, oh.
This is what's freaky.
What if Lieutenant Dan was narrating it?
Oh, if Lieutenant Dan was narrating it, it would have been a way better. But this is the thing which is freaky about those places, is that you have this town and there's like a fucking McDonald's at the end of the street, yet you have to drive up out of society to this, and then you have to
this
walk.
Holocaust museum.
Yeah,
What
to
if
this
they
like
had-
to Dachau, which is like terrible. And the fact that they recreated these little huts where people were living on top of each other.
Well, the saddest part of the whole thing, and this is we're getting off subject, honestly.
But it's freaky
But-
too.
yeah,
but
yeah.
that's the thing. It's
But,
freaky. It rubbed us wrong.
The freakiest thing about that place was like showed us the place where they would gas
Yes,
people.
and we tried to stand up
And,
in there, and I couldn't even stand up in there, and I'm 5'3".
But if you like if you go outside, there's like this plaque, like you're standing in front of the place and you could read about it. But then on the plaque, it shows you a picture of the building with the bodies stacked higher than the ceiling. So you're sitting there looking at the real life building, and then you look at the picture and you see like the stack of bodies. So I was just like, so you guys ready to take a break and go to lunch or something?
Yeah, no. And then
You guys want some McDonald's?
the best, we actually ate McDonald's before that. But the weirdest, creepiest thing that rubbed me the wrong way was being in there. And I was taking pictures of Pew from Eyes of a Traitor standing up inside of it. And his head was like this. And I'm like, well, this motherfucker can't even stand up there. Tevin mowing wheels. Dan is fucking vampire ass up in this place. And you look out and there's fucking holes.
He can't even swing upside down in the
Yeah. Tevin can't even build himself a bat hut in this place. But like you look and there's these like holes for people to watch these people drop dead. And that's fucking, I'm getting chills thinking about it. Like, and it, why did we go there?
Let's go to the comments. What's going on
let's
in
go
the
to some
comments?
comments and kind of make this feel a little bit better now, because now we're talking about some sad fucking shit.
Yeah.
People being horrible to other people.
Several people have asked if you, Krista,
Mhm.
have had any creepy experiences while in Mexico.
Well, I remember while we were in Guadalajara, right? I asked you and Mikey if you guys would both stay in the room with me. I was like, you and Mikey are staying in the room with me. Because we were in Guadalajara, and like the hotel that we were staying at, it was like really open to the world and didn't have like a lock on the door. And so it was me, you, and Mikey in one room, and I was like sitting in this little bed like, oh my god, someone's gonna come in and there's gonna be a ghost. Or
we love to collect white girl heads.
They're like, where's all the white girls? Yeah. I'm gonna kill this white girl right now. And I'm like, oh god, why? That was
Simone, she gave me head. Her fucking head.
I got that Krista Cameron passport. I'm gonna kill it too. There were some creepy places though we walked around because it's old, you know. There's a lot of like they're very religious.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't have really that many scary. The like drinking the water on accident.
And getting
like scary
Montezema's revenge.
And getting like diarrhea for like 2 weeks after.
Did you get diarrhea too?
Yeah. No, we all did.
And we literally all did. But we didn't drink the water.
Well,
we showered in the water.
I remember I brushed my teeth.
Oh, like, maybe that's
with
me
the
too.
Water, and then I fucking shat for like half a month. You know, after that. Anyways, okay. So like,
I loved Mexico City.
My buddy Mateo. This is about. Mexican folklore. This is the scariest thing. That
is it. La
Llorona? The weird. No. La Llorona.
La Llorona.
Do 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 do. La Llorona. She'll drown your children. She'll drown your children. Drown your fucking children. La Llorona. She'll fucking drown your kids. Anyways,
I can't.
My buddy Mateo we used to be like, yo, let's get freaked out, right? And he'd come over and we'd watch scary videos until we got freaked out. But like, there was one night where I was like, we watched videos for an hour, just like these creepy YouTube videos, like on folklore and like haunted dolls and shit.
Like Robert.
Yes. Okay. So, anyways, after like an hour, I was like, man, I'm not creeped out really. And he's, oh, have you ever heard of? I can't remember what the name he called it, but like in Mexican like supernatural lore, there's like the videos of these little people that are like, like the borrowers, right?
I was just gonna ask you that.
And they like, there's like videos of these kids playing and they're just like throwing around the ball, and then you see this little dude run by and shit, and they're like freaking out. And I got so freaked out by that video that like I had nightmares about little people crawling around in my bed, and like, dude, it was so creepy.
Well,
somebody let me know the name of what that is.
Somebody let us know the name if you know. But in Mexican folklore too, they have Day of the Dead, which is fucking awesome. It's the day after Halloween, Samhain, and they just honor the people who have passed on in their lives, and they make this whole thing about it. I think it's the most beautiful thing, where you can honor somebody who's passed on, and it's like Halloween extended.
I personally like Mexico's oh my god, Mexico's like view on the afterlife.
Oh,
it's
yeah,
like super just colorful and bright. Like I've always really been fascinated
like
with that,
Day of the Dead.
Right.
There's so much color,
and people get rejoicing,
and people get together and they just honor the people who have passed on. It's a beautiful thing, but at the same time, it's got some creep factor to it, just like in Native American like culture and folklore about. They're very, very spiritual people,
right? And
they feel like everything around them is got spirits. Like the trees have spirits in them, the earth, the ground has spirits in them. The way the moon controls the tide, and honoring the dead who have passed on by burying, like giving a sacrifice of tobacco or silver in the earth, or planting something helps with like malevolent activity in people's homes, especially if it was by any chance, which is most likely everywhere in America, fucking Native American land.
For some reason, when you said gold, I thought of the leprechaun. And
The leprechaun in the tree, say yeah.
Give me back me gold.
To me, it looked like a leprechaun.
You gotta say the leprechaun. Say yeah.
I want to know where the gold is.
So, someone just asked if you had Mexican blood roots because
Oh,
you actually
my.
resemble it.
Could I just talk about this time that everybody did Wolves let him back into the country?
I'm half Thai
Mm-hmm.
and half white. So I mean,
Krista also gets asked if
I get
she's
asked all the time
Hispanic.
if I'm
Yeah.
Hispanic. Mm-hmm.
yeah, they're like, "Oh, you little light skinned Latino." No, I'm not. Okay.
Full Italian. Thank you.
No, I'm half Italian.
No.
And half Scottish.
Your full soul.
My full
Italian.
soul's Italian. Italiano.
Garlic bread Tulsa.
You goddamn guinea, you whop ass bastard.
Oh, whoa.
Damn.
I'm getting
Taking it there.
I say it all the time. Because yeah. I'm Italian. What of it? I like pizza.
Still like 6 grams per serving.
What about a
Carbs.
cauliflower crust?
That's what it is. It's still like
Are you
super.
kidding?
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
well, you can make it with squash. I've
Sure.
made a zucchini
Actually, I'm
lasagna
hungry.
before.
I'm gonna get a snack right now.
Okay, you go get your snack.
Will you get me one?
A snack?
Yeah.
Should we all just eat snacks?
Could we get
I'll
all
get
snack
snacks?
Is there any more comments that we can
Condiments?
or no, not condiments, comments that we can read from? Penny. Penny the dog is in here, everybody. She is a Scottish Terrier and she's amazing. Unfortunately, we can't show you Penny unless she comes over to me and I can hold her.
Okay, so
Oh, by the way, everybody, too, we are taking donations. Daniel and I are technically
homeless.
homeless.
Yeah,
We're living
homeless.
with our friends right now.
It's
who
not
are
technically. There's no
amazing
technical
people
to it.
giving
We
us
are
a place to
definitely
live.
homeless.
But we are trying our hardest right now to get on our feet and get into an apartment. So, and also be able to afford to do this more and
Yeah.
write more music. So we are taking donations. Anything that you guys can do, most appreciated. If you can't, we understand. If you can, you can. So thank you. We have a link to our PayPal, right?
We've actually gotten this in a couple of comments, so I think it's something worth pointing out because that's what we're talking about. So for anyone who has inquired about Krista teaching how she screams, like Krista said,
Mhm.
we lost our jobs, as a result of this coronavirus pandemic.
COVID-19.
And yeah, so right now we are, it's kind of given us, the fuel and the fire that we, needed, I guess, to kind of really pursue doing more, alternative means of rather than just writing music, And so, yes, Krista doing something with, not necessarily vocal lessons, but
tips.
if you're interested in
And doing
how to
one-on-one
scream,
sessions, like hour sessions, half an hour to an hour sessions,
that
I am
is
totally
that's,
down with.
Yeah, that's something that we are in the process of looking into getting up and running. So keep your eyes peeled
What'd they ask?
if you're interested.
Me teaching like vocal
Okay.
stuff, which I'm totally down on doing. That is something that we've actually talked about doing in the near future. Doing one-on-one kind of things where you kind of tell me some of your influences, show me something you possibly recorded, or if you're brave enough to just start screaming in your house and I can help you with some tips or singing tips, etc. I'm totally down with that. That will be definitely in the near future.
So that is definitely something that we are considering, not considering, but that we are looking into getting up and running and how to just, bring that to you guys as an option.
Pepperoni?
Yeah,
I can't with the
amazing.
pepperoni.
pepperoni and cheese.
Why?
But
I have endometriosis. I love pepperoni. I'm Italian. You know
Cheers.
this. However, I can't really eat too much meat. I can't eat the meat.
Got gout.
I got that gout. I
um,
love cheese though.
and we're also going to be coming up with some other interesting ways of putting out new content, not just necessarily new songs being released, but just
That dumb shit.
yeah, lots of other stuff in general. So if you check down in our description of this video, you will find a link to our tip page, and if you want, please feel free to donate whatever you can. Please only donate if you can.
If you can.
During this time, we understand, but anything we get, is definitely going to be used to be able to continue doing what we're doing, to put out stuff for you guys, which make it possible. So, and watching Rachel try to open this pepperoni
I can't get it. I can't fucking
is
get it.
really hilarious. Would you like me to
I'll try it.
give it a twirl?
So
Also,
mhm.
if you like dumbass shit on YouTube, Worship and Tribute Nerd is my channel.
Yes, it
It's
is.
mostly us talking about nerdy shit. I do interviews with artists and stuff like that.
Lots of bands.
Yeah.
Name some people that you've done some
I've done some stuff with like Dance Gavin Dance. I've done some
Spirit
stuff.
Box.
Spirit Box. They love paranormal stuff, by the
Mhm.
way. Hence Spirit Box, the name.
So we should get Spirit Box on this. It'll be
Yeah.
fun.
That would be fun.
hmm
I love Spirit Box. Love this guys. Shout out, guys. It's fun.
I would hope that they would like paranormal stuff.
Oh, they
Okay,
love
man.
it. We
Yeah.
always
Spirit
talked
Box.
about it whenever at the end of Iwabo. We would always talk about hauntings and cool shit.
I wonder if they have any paranormal stories that they can talk about.
I mean, I was at the Queen Mary with them.
I was at the Queen Mary with you. We played the Queen Mary,
I know we played again later.
and our
in the-
set
in the
got shut
career.
down because I
Uh-huh.
threw my microphone. I don't know. It was a big thing. I was drunk.
When Courtney and Michael were in the band, we played at the Queen Mary, and they gave us a room there. That was our
Mm.
green room, right?
So it wasn't the fucking boiler room where all the ghosts come
No,
and kill people.
no, it
like
was
they did
it
for
was
us?
like a room, and it was like,
Dang.
and it was near that the haunted room.
Oh, okay.
So apparently, one of their rooms, the housekeeping would come in, and it was in two little sections. It was the L part of the
Mhm.
whole thing, and so if you rented it, it was like the kitchen area was over here, and then on the other side, it was the main room where you sleep. And they used to like do the bed, go to the kitchen area, clean up the kitchen area, turn around, and the bed would be fucked up, like somebody pulled all the
Ooh.
sheets off of it and stuff. So
Hmm.
yeah, it was a pretty haunted place.
Well, then Courtney and Mike should come and talk about some of their experiences, or especially if like they're into any of the paranormal stuff. Obviously, they are,
Mhm.
because actually, a spirit box is a real fucking thing.
Uh-huh.
So it's funny that they named their band after a real device that contacts spirits.
Mhm.
You can actually talk with spirits. If you guys don't know what a spirit box is, I mean, check out the band. But if you haven't, but if you don't know what an actual spirit box is, you should Google it. You can check out some on YouTube of people actually communicating with the afterlife, spirits. It's fucking cool. It sounds creepy too.
I want to
because
communicate with the before life.
what I
Is
think
that possible?
what I think we should do is do a little like ghost tour. The three of us go on a little ghost tour when we're not in
Pre-life.
quarantine.
I've always thought,
McKinney is really haunted.
I've always thought it'd be cool if, like, let's just say, like,
Can people hear us?
Well, I'm sure they can. I hope that
Um,
does not bother you guys, because it's happening.
I was gonna say, it'd be cool to like, get the YouTube going to where we could do cooler stuff. And I've always wanted to, during Halloween season, go to haunted houses and then review haunted houses.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So you could go through each one, talk about how good it is compared to other ones in the Dallas area. That would be so fun.
That would be hilarious. And I
And-
think that the both of you guys, together would be fucking hilarious.
Dude, I'm like the most afraid person probably that you'll ever meet. Like you weren't in the band when we went to Halloween Horror Nights.
Well, he's been Halloween Horror Nights with us in the band, but
not
Scary Farm.
But not with when I was in the band. We weren't there.
Right.
No.
But yeah, everyone in the band when we went there the first time was like, Darryl, you go first. This will be great. You know? So I'm like just having to lead the charge of the entire band.
It was like the Bloody Mary house, and he's terrified of mirrors.
Oh God.
And it was the funniest shit.
I mean, I literally almost had a fucking heart attack in every single house. Like,
you should tell Ricky about all the times I try to sneak up you in the kitchen in the middle of the night at Matt and Kayla's house, and always try to sneak up on you. And he's like, "Oh God!" And he always like almost knifed me in the throat the other night.
Oh well, now I was like
with a fucking butter knife,
giant butcher knife, like
making a salad. It's like 2 a.m. He's making a fucking salad. I'm like, I start coming after him. I want to do like the grudge noise, but I didn't. I just started cripply.
But say like the thing is, I knew she was there, the whole time. And I like when she did finally scare me, it didn't scare me by turn. I was like, dude, you're very glad that like I knew you were there this whole time.
I scared you the other night in the hallway.
You did.
I just walked up to him like this, and he's like, "Oh God!"
I made the sign of the crucifix.
He did, and I laughed my ass off. Okay.
Hey, what's going on? Comments.
Yeah, we're gonna read some of your guys' comments.
Yeah, so that is
because you guys
another
are
idea.
commenting, and we feel bad because we're sitting here just talking about scaring the fuck out of Darryl, and
I'm reading
also
everything. So yes, that is another idea that we're considering. Once we have
my
enough
burps always sound so bad.
tunes.
What? I'm sorry.
Do y'all want me to talk about the comments, or
Yes.
do y'all want to have a conversation again?
No,
Well,
tell us what you're.
Okay. So this is another thing that we are looking into.
What is it?
As well, which is doing a live streamed concert of some sort.
yes,
That we can tune into.
Yeah.
I would love to do that. Love to do that.
Yeah, I just gotta finish some tunes, guys,
Yeah,
Yeah,
this is true.
this is why we're quarantined with Ricky right now. We don't.
So he can drop the gems like, yeah, we just got to finish some tunes.
Well, I don't know if this is too behind the scenes or anything, but Shell showed me pre-pro for like 24 songs. And I was
we
like,
have like a
finish
whole
a couple.
discography apparently.
We had enough for like 2 albums.
And then the worst is we started writing another one from scratch the other night.
There you go. Gotta finish some stuff.
No. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
What are some more things we can read? Because I can't see because I'm blind as a fucking bat, and they just all look like small little ants.
You're as blind as a bat.
You're as blind as a bat.
Batman Forever.
Called it.
Damn, you're good.
You won't beat me in that game. I promise.
Mm-hmm.
What game? Quote the quotes?
Yeah, quote game.
Movie quotes.
I mean, every now and then there's one that I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure you can pull one from an obscure reference somewhere, but
To get you.
yeah.
But
if it was
it's
just
the
like
easy obscure ones that are like, the ones I pull out.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
But in which I will pull out in a moment.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
At a moment's notice.
All right, so we'll just go through some of these comments here. All right, how about that? Someone's asking for a reunite tour by Wabo. The video for the cat's pajamas. Oh my god.
There is a video for the cat's pajamas.
Yeah. He's saying the video for the cat's pajamas was, oh my god.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
That was a good time.
That was the one time we got to show off the rainbow at
Yeah.
its fullest.
When it actually worked.
Yeah, it was like days later it was broken,
Yeah.
or like hours before that. it was
Hours before
broken.
that, and Steve was like, "God damn it!"
So actually, I want to read this one here. Sorry,
Okay.
Go ahead.
I did not see this, but it's from Alejandro Ibarra.
Alejandro.
Mm-hmm. He's a recent subscriber as of like tonight.
Well, thank you for
Amazing.
subscribing.
Yes, I told him that.
Mm-hmm.
But he said one of his favorite memories here is that he remembered he asked the merch guy, Eli, to call Krista to the table to have her sign a custom bag that she had at a table for his ex. And that meant a lot to him that you signed it.
Oh, that's so sweet.
What a sweetie.
Does your
What a
ex still
sweetie.
have the bag?
Do you know if your ex still has the bag?
Alejandro, you should get that bag back
Bag.
and post a picture of it to us.
Bag,
The
bag,
bag,
bag, bag.
Get the
Give me
bag,
50
bag,
feet.
bag.
Give me
bag,
6
bag.
feet.
What was I talking about?
Quarantine.
Oh, darn.
Social
Sorry.
distancing, bitch.
Sorry. You're breathing on me.
Yeah. Your particulates are coming all into my area.
I'm really glad that,
Ridiculous.
that happened. That's a cool
Sounds like
you
experience.
spittled.
I'm glad that you
A
remembered that.
cut of food. Ridiculous.
They're talking about quarantining, and I'm just like, oh, I'm so happy that you remembered that. Like, that's
So
awesome.
Alejandro says, laughing my fucking ass off.
Well-
She does, and I wish bad terms break up.
Oh,
Hello.
you should sue her for your bag.
Sue her to get
Yeah.
your
I'm gonna
bag
get a
back,
lawyer
Alejandro.
for the
I'm gonna
bag.
need that bag back, and I'm not talking about the bag between my legs. I'm talking about that book bag.
Give me back that bag.
Give me a book satchel.
Give me back my back satchel.
Look, just show her this video and show her Krista
Yeah.
saying,
Give back
You.
Alejandro's bag.
Yeah.
There you go.
Anthony Colon asks, Krista, are you guys touring after this quarantine is over? And then let me answer this question first because it's a much easier
Okay.
question to answer. Matthias, I'm not even going to attempt your last name because I will butcher it.
And we're
No
sorry.
disrespect. All right. Would you guys do something acoustic on stream? We actually have plans to do said acoustic things on stream. So just keep your little peepers peeled.
Oh,
And Ricky, you have an acoustic bass.
I do.
He got really excited about that the other. I'm like,
Well,
Ricky's had an acoustic bass.
It won't plug in. We have to mic it though.
We can mic it easily.
I'm like you.
I am Mike.
You are Mike. No, your name is Ricky.
What happened to
My
John?
slave
that
name.
you guys don't like?
Oh God. Was that racist?
I don't know. I really don't know.
As far as touring goes, we need some more stuff out, and that is why we have asked for donations to begin with, so that we can continue to do this and survive and keep putting music out. And there's a possibility of us actually playing a few live one-off shows. That is for sure possible, and it would start definitely in the southwest area of the country. News, all big things.
Yeah. So someone said, just tuning in, is Darrow going to be featured on any Empyrean songs?
No, he will not be. We are getting a divorce.
Well, I guess I couldn't have said it better myself. Really.
Right?
No. That answers
That's
that.
the truthful. That is the truth. Is
One
that
mystery
no?
solved.
Right.
Andrew and I are going through divorce.
And then to back it way up in the comments here, the real scrub Jake asked, did Krista have any classical vocal training?
No, I trained myself. Plus the fact that I've
Your
had
grandpa.
my grandfather
Yeah.
was a musician, and he helped me. And then I was in chorus in school, and then I was also
You
in.
saw it too.
Yeah. So
Not
Pretty
laughing
much.
at you.
Yeah.
I know. I saw what you guys did, and I was trying to hold it back and answer the question seriously. But no, I have not had any training. Sometimes I wish I have. I think that would probably have made me better, but I'm stubborn. I'm a Taurus. This is what I do. I'm like, I'm going to figure it out myself. And I did.
It's funny that the comments are going off now about where
Alejandro's back.
No. I'd be like, Crystal, you're single now? Oh shit, you're single. No more comments. No more comments. No more pictures. No more comments. I'm cleaning up.
I am actually not single. No, I am not.
You're thirsty. You sound thirsty.
I am thirsty. Shit. Let me wet my whistle.
If you're thirsty in the comments, please be a man and speak to Krista right now.
I want to take you out for a nice dinner and a glass of wine.
Well, JJ, I hope I'm saying this right. JJ 1323. Thank you for sticking around, even without Darryl on any songs.
Yes, thank you so much. I mean,
yes, I'm involved now too.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
I still haven't heard back from Carmen to see if she knew about.
Oh yeah, wait.
Did she write back?
I think she did.
Because that kind of came to me, and I just was like, "Oh, what about Carmen?"
Carmen, if you're still here, I'm so sorry.
Carmen from Australia. I asked you earlier if you knew about how old your house was, or if it was demolished and then a home was built, or they turned it. They just,
So yeah, she said it's that the prison's still there. The holding cells are still out back.
Ooh, that is creepy. I'd be like, if I was a kid, I'd be like, if I was Carmen as a kid, be like, hey, I dare you to go out there, have a sleepover, and get locked in.
And then you get trapped.
And then Valak comes out.
And then and they find you the next day with poop in your pants.
No, they find you like how you saw the ring. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Except for there's poop in your pants too.
Except you've literally shat yourself and pissed all over the place. That is creepy and a really fucking interesting story. That is really freaky.
To answer this question here, are the vocal effects used on the current single to be a constant throughout the entire album? So both of our singles that we've put out so far have been done by myself as far as engineering and mixing and stuff goes. And I am definitely a beginner. I'd probably say somewhere in the realm of beginner, intermediate-ish. I'm learning at the moment to be an audio engineer and want to kind of make that a career as well. So, what you're hearing, is kind of a learning process from all of us, kind of as far as recording ourselves and doing the whole process of putting it out ourselves. So as far as the effects or whatever on vocals, no, I don't think that there is a constant that's going to remain because it's going to be kind of ever growing and changing.
I mean, Sons, because you were still so new at the engineering side to it and learning how to do things, Sons has a few vocal effects on it.
Yeah.
But this Avalanche is pretty raw.
Yeah, this Avalanche is definitely more raw vocally than Sons was. And it was like when we did Sons, so much shit happened with trying to release that song. Like we lost our hard drive at that time. So like we lost like nearly everything that we had up to that point. And the only like vocal recordings that remained that we didn't lose were kind of like not our favorite ones. So we kind of had to just like make do with what we had because I wasn't living, in Texas. And so we had a huge distance gap there. We couldn't just get back together and like re-record, so we just kind of had to make do with what we had. So Carmen says there was also tunnels under the house to the underground Hobart. I don't know what a Hobart is, but it sounds creepy.
You don't know old man Hobart?
Old man Hobart, he come down. He's like, hey, y'all got some lemonade and some cookies?
He's like, I would have gotten away with it too if it weren't for you stinking ass kids.
I mean, I'm sure they had the underground tunnels too because it was way to transport prisoners, perhaps. What is Hobart? Who is Hobart?
So Jeffrey asked, what were y'all's jobs before the quarantine? What did each of you do for a living?
I started working as a manager for Jazzercise. And then you. And a possible coffee shop. Yeah. And then you were.
Such a fucking unstable connection. Please wait while we try to reconnect. Just reconnect me with my fans.
Maybe it's we need to be closer to the living room because that's where the router is.
What's that right there?
That's the box that makes sure the router. I don't know.
That's the router box house.
But without that thing being on, I know that the router doesn't work. That's what establishes signal, and I guess the router is what sends it, officially. You know what I mean?
Well,
Anyways,
it's all good.
Yeah, we're still.
Hobart is the capital of Tasmania.
Oh.
There you go.
That's fucked. Creepy.
Crappy.
So
crepey.
That is just that's crazy.
Delicious.
It's delicious.
And I was doing recording stuff and looking for a job.
Mm-hmm.
Had a job lined up working at Liberty Mutual Insurance.
I worked as a bar back at a bar that's inside of a casino, and that's fun. It's cool not being there, but it's not cool not having money. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
It's not cool eating off the dollar menu.
I'm just telling y'all right now that if this thing continues and everything just breaks down, I'm surviving.
We're going to be survivors, pretty much. It's just how it's going to have to be.
If it's Freaky Friday, we're still supposed to talk about creepy stuff, guys.
I know.
Yeah.
We keep talking about
we're,
things.
We're talking about comments here. So someone just said, did you guys have Mikey record drums for you guys, or did Darrow create them? Neither.
Confusing.
Neither. No.
So Darryl, me.
Darryl, Strawberry. Did the drums.
Did all the drum work for the first two songs.
Mm-hmm.
Using a MIDI keyboard like that, and a whole lot of automation until my eyes crossed and started bleeding to make them sound halfway realistic.
So anyways, what have you guys been watching for horror movies since the quarantine?
We have been actually watching a bunch of horror movies. We watched, we did Annabelle. We did The Conjuring. We also watched the real Enfield Haunting from The Conjuring 2. And we watched the entire series, the whole Insidious collection.
Okay.
I really love Insidious.
Insidious is probably one of my favorite by far horror movies.
I like Sinister.
I like
Sinister
Sinister
good.
2.
I like Sinister 1 better.
See, I
I
like
like 'em
Sinister
both.
1, but Sinister 2, like, I'm actually not sure that I've even made it through it.
Sinister 1.
2.
2.
But Sinister 1 is really creepy.
I mean, it's
Sinister
just
2
creepy
gets
in
me
general.
because I have, small children,
Right.
2
That's
of
true.
them.
Yeah.
And, I think the time I tried to watch Sinister 2, I got to the part where the kids were actually starting to do
Crazy
things,
shit. Yeah.
and I was like, okay, I can't.
Now,
take
if you
this.
want to watch kids do crazy shit, you got to watch Children of the Corn or Village of the Damned.
I have seen that. Yes, I've seen both of those.
Or
but it's
I
just
saw
not the
this movie.
same. Have you seen Sinister 2?
Yes.
No, I think we
What
talked about this,
about
and you said you haven't.
I
Orphan.
Orphan is good. Orphan is good, and it's creepy because she is a child, but she ain't a child. She is a complete adult, and she is fucking things up. It's like
Right.
The Good Son, but like,
Right. But she's a 48-year-old man that looks
Was
like
she
a
a
boy.
man?
No, I'm just kidding.
no,
but
I was like, well, she
but
wasn't a
still,
man. She was.
She's like, now that the truth is out, I'm from New York.
She's like, I'm from New York. This is how we roll.
I worked at a pizza place for 40 years.
The Boy.
The Boy was good. I really
yeah, The
enjoyed
Boy
The
was pretty
Boy.
good.
I haven't seen The Boy 2 yet. I want to see The Boy 2. The Boy 2 came on
I
as
wanna
a
see
trailer, and I was
Boy
like, oh,
to
you
Men.
haven't even Boys to Men.
Oh,
No, Boy
and
to Man.
Invisible Man. I watched Invisible Man.
The
It was
Invisible
fucking
Man.
awesome.
We just watched that last night, and that was
Fucking
amazing. So if you guys want to check out a good kind of anxiety
A good
thriller,
Well, it got it did really well, but it wasn't in the box office for very long before the quarantine shit started happening. So they put it straight to streaming. So you have to rent it, but it's still worth it. It's pretty awesome.
and it's a chick from The Handmaid's Tale. If you haven't seen The Handmaid's Tale, that's like a fucking horror movie right there. Like, it's just creepy as fuck. Every single time I watch that show, I'm like, oh God, oh why, oh Jesus, Lord Jesus, Lord Vigo.
Dan Rod said, have you guys read about Richard Ramirez?
Actually, we were starting to listen to the last podcast on the left of Richard Ramirez. Mm-hmm.
Which one was he?
He is a fucked up serial killer, right? He was a serial killer.
Mhm.
My friend Krista told me to listen to that one. She's like, you want to hear something fucked up? Listen to the story of Richard Ramirez. See, that's where I go back to, people are scary. Like, the paranormal is scary, supernatural is scary, but people are fucking scary.
Yeah.
Like, you could be walking in a goddamn Kroger and there's like serial killer Joe just hanging out, getting a fucking sack of romaine lettuce. And then you know what I'm saying? You're standing next
Give me
to
a sack of romaine.
I need this sack. You're standing next to a real monster, I want to get back into starting to talk about a little bit more creepy shit like that we've experienced, perhaps.
Okay.
You've experienced some shadow people before.
Mhm.
Has anybody heard of like shadow people? Can I have like a hand raise? Shadow people
Give us a +1 if you've ever heard
or have
experienced
seen or experienced a shadow
people.
person, and that also has to play into sleep paralysis as well. Like, a lot of people with sleep paralysis have experienced shadow people.
+1.
Talk about your shadow people.
Yeah, +1.
I don't have a shadow. Can I get a drink?
Okay.
You?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Dose, please.
Dos Equis.
So we'll kind of wait. We're gonna wait for a moment to let Ricky return with some beverages.
Okay.
I'll use this as a moment to just remind everyone tuning in.
Yeah,
If you haven't hit that subscribe button, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It's like we've talked about. We have some real things in the works that we are going to be doing, and you're going to want to know about and be a part of in the very near future. So let's answer this question right here.
Mm-hmm.
Do you all like more psychological horror, gore fest, or some other type of subgenre of horror. You gotta be on the mic. You've pushed the mic away from
I'm
me.
sorry.
And down for some reason.
I don't
So
know. I like good psychological horror movies. I like real B kind of funny horror movies, and I like just creepy, gory ones, you know, or
But I felt like
lots of ones with like the demonic.
Yeah, I feel like that's what I was gonna say. I feel like your favorite aren't really either psychological gore fest. They're more, and I say this because they're mine too. And it probably plays into a lot of the stories that I'm about to share because I've actually, lived through some crazy shit. But are the kind of like paranormal, not paranormal activity as in the movie, but just paranormal activity that you experience in life type movies, such as like
Ricky just
like Insidious.
Thank you.
Insidious, or Sinister, or whatever like that. The Grudge.
I'm sorry, I'm still just laughing about Ricky walking back in the room.
Ricky just dropped her drink. Oh, that was this one.
It was that one. Penny's got
Penny,
it.
get it.
Penny is literally drinking that right now. But yeah, like I like all the creepy kind of evil demonic shit.
Because, so paranormal thrillers.
Yeah,
I would say.
I feel like
not that. I mean, I like stuff that has like jump scare. But I don't like movies that are just like that's all it is. It's just like one jump scare after another, after another, after another. Like, because then it gets to just be where I'm like, I can't take it anymore.
Yeah, you're gonna have like a fucking heart attack.
And like, so tell everyone what I do if you listen how well you know me.
So
what
when
do
there's
I
about
do?
To have like a creepy part, he just starts ducking his head and putting like over my shoulder, and I'm like, "What are you doing?"
Okay, so like if we were in a theater though, if we were just sitting in a theater next to each other, like,
he goes
what do
like
I
this.
Do? Yeah. But so if I didn't do that, what do I do? Like if I'm just sitting straight up and I don't duck down, right? I make myself sit up straight and just look. But do you know, have I told you even what I do?
No.
Okay, so my method is, it's like a super scary movie to me, just to like save face with people so they don't think that I'm like super scared. I will like look at the bottom. I'll be like staring straight. I'll look at the bottom left fucking corner
of the
screen. All right. So like my peripheral can still see what's happening. But for whatever reason, it's like less dramatic and scary when something like pops out, so I don't just go like
yeah, but like we're watching the and he's like deep into my shoulder. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? And it comes out and he's like, oh god, like he just jumps, and it's fun.
It is. I mean, I love being scared.
Are you going to talk about your experience?
So yeah,
shadow people.
So Ricky's back. I will tell my story now. I want you to be able to hear this as well, sir.
It's creepy.
Because I heard your story.
Okay, go ahead.
So should I tell?
You want to talk? The one when you were a kid with your Ouija board experience?
Yeah, my Ouija board.
Yeah, we all have Ouija board experiences. So I think we should tell all three of our Ouija board experiences. Yeah. Go ahead.
So I gotta be honest, I don't even remember how old I was exactly. I was probably 13, 14, somewhere in there. But there were these two sisters that rode the school bus that I rode. And they were from the Philippines. I don't remember their names at all. But one day, I always, like I lived like way out in the country, so I was always the last one off the bus. Okay, and so where they always sat, like I sat in the last seat because I was the last one off the bus. And so when I got up, I was walking, and I noticed in their seat, there was a Ouija board game, like sitting in their seat. And I was like, oh, like I had no idea what Ouija board was, right? Because I live in a sheltered, rural,
religious country.
Yeah. And so I had no reason to think it was anything other than a board game, right? You know, and I was just like, oh crap, like they forgot their game. I'll, you know, make sure it doesn't get stolen. I'll just hold on to it, you know. And it was the weekend coming up, so it was Friday, and so I kept this mug for the weekend. And a couple of my friends came over, and I had a treehouse. Yes, you heard that right. I did have a treehouse. And so we were up in my treehouse and we were playing
like
this
Macaulay
thing.
Culkin.
Yeah, I was the good son.
In your treehouse. Darryl up in his treehouse playing with the Ouija board. Got something convincing shit.
Oh, hey, what are you doing up there, little Daniel? Some stuff for church. Just playing this new game I got.
Just shooting the neighbor's cats with my homemade nail gun.
Collecting $200 as I pass go.
Old Man River taught me to play.
Yeah.
The
Captain
hobo?
Oh God. Okay, continue. I'm sorry. It was good.
So yeah, my friend was, you know, just jacking around. Like we weren't even trying to. It's
He
not
was
like,
jacking
we weren't
around.
even trying to. Be serious. Just jacking around.
Him and just his
Just
best
jacking
guy
around.
friend.
One of
Just
my best
jacking
buddies
around.
was just jacking around.
Jack-a-lacking.
So like we
Oh God.
but like we weren't trying to even be serious with it.
Right.
Like
Right.
in your story.
Right.
We were just
Who are you trying to contact?
no one. I didn't even know what this thing was.
Can I speak to Ted?
Yeah.
Ted
Ted.
legit.
Ted around. I was like,
Ted is not even dead.
His soul is.
I was talking to I was talking to Dead Nugent.
Did.
Okay,
I was
I'm
like,
sorry.
spirits. What was we talking about?
Who is dead?
Who is dead?
But so like we weren't even like expecting anything to happen because I didn't know anything should happen. But like all of a sudden it started moving and like doing stuff. And like I didn't even like this is how little I knew about it because I didn't even know to like be like, oh, it's like spelling out some shit. Like I was just like, what's happening? And it was like moving around doing shit. And I was like, I got really freaked out because I was like, I'm not doing this. Like, are you doing this? And I was like, are you doing this? And like none of us were doing it. And so I was just like, shut this shit up. Like, put it up and get away.
This isn't
like,
Jumanji.
Yeah.
and like everybody, you know,
Where are the
left.
mosquitoes?
It's like everybody left, and I'm left with this, you know, board game box. And so like I went and like put it under my bed, and my parents went out that Friday evening, and I was like at home, like doing stuff, just hanging out. And I remember I came back in the room from like going to get something to drink, and the game was like now like up on my bed, and I had put it under my bed. And so I was like,
You're gonna play me, boy.
I was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure I remember putting that under the bed. I was like, let me just do that again. Like it was total horror movie
Right.
status, you know. It was
Like you're in denial real
like,
bad. Like,
yeah, like I would have died if this was a horror movie because it was like
the thing about like, okay, so when you watch a horror movie, you're like, these motherfuckers are in denial. I would be out that bitch. But then something like that happens in real life and you're like, maybe I just forgot. That's what it was. I forgot.
yeah,
You're just trying to not freak yourself
I
out.
just set it on top of the bed. It's not a big deal. I really meant to put it under the bed. Let me go ahead and do that.
Let me go ahead and do that. You're like talking out loud and shit. Like,
I probably
like
was
people in your
knowing
house
me.
are like, why are you talking out loud? You only do that when you're scared and in denial.
I'm like, shut up.
You're just sitting there trying to practice your Slipknot songs.
No, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Trying to
I
play
was-
that Slipknot.
I was writing
You were
my
actually
future
listening to the
Paranormal
Spin
songs.
Doctors in your room.
No, actually, so I'm going to tell a little truth on myself here. At age, 13, 14, whatever it was, I was trying to that evening memorize the lyrics to Gangster's Paradise.
Nice.
Okay. So it was in my It was in my Sony, boom box.
I love
Right,
that.
All right. And it was just spinning on repeat. All
Right.
right. Just over.
When you're getting freaked out about this?
Yeah.
Okay.
During this whole story. That's
Right.
what was going on. Is
Right.
I was in my room doing this, like memorizing Gangster's Paradise. And so Gangster's Paradise is just on repeat, And
I'm going to tell someone that's what I'm doing. Next time somebody asks me, hey, what are you doing?
Hey, Rickshaw, what are you up to this evening? Oh, I'm trying to memorize the lyrics to Gangster's Paradise. What are you doing?
That's so good.
You a big Coolio
And
fan?
you know what? And
No.
I feel like they would understand.
Yeah.
They wouldn't even question. Like,
Yeah.
cool, man.
They'd be like, all right, shit. Well, I didn't mean to bother you.
Yeah.
Well, cool. I was going to ask if you wanted to go do something, but
You're
you do you.
obviously busy.
Uh-huh.
I'm broken. Okay. Jesus Christ.
And you were like, money and the power and the Ouija. What?
And it's like sitting on his bed and he's like, hey.
Yeah. Hey, play me.
Hey, you want to play? The planchettes, like just looking at
Yeah.
It would be coolio if you played me right now.
Oh, shoot.
Little Ouija board has his legs crossed. Have a seat.
It's like Cindy.
It's like-
Crisscross applesauce.
Yeah.
Have yourself a sit down.
Yo,
Yo,
now
Darryl.
have yourself an iced tea.
Don't believe in ghosts, huh? Have a seat.
No, I never said I didn't believe in ghosts. That wasn't anything that came out of this mouth. Not even at that age. But like, so yeah. All right, get back on track.
Let's get back on track.
So yeah, so I put it back under the bed. Went back to memorizing Gangster's Paradise just to get everyone up to speed.
Obviously.
And was doing something else and left the room again. Came back. It was on the bed again. So that was when I was like,
nope.
So that's when I literally got like really scared. I was like, okay, I do specifically now remember putting it under the bed. It's now sitting on my bed again.
I must have just forgot a second time.
No. See, there was no denial this time. It was like, no, I put it on my bed.
Still.
Yeah. Let me get back to these Coolio lyrics.
Blam, 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 blam.
Oh.
Yeah, like it's like glowing and floating now in his bed. Like, pay attention. Pay attention.
Yeah.
It's really like, Daniel,
But so
You must play me.
I'm gonna pretend that was just in my headphones because I'm learning this
Hey, yo.
song.
Hey, yo, turn me down in the headphones, all right? I'm hearing some crazy feedback shit, okay?
I'm getting
I can't
radio
rap over-
waves.
I can't rap over this shit.
It's like that white noise movie with Michael Keaton.
Called White Noise. That White Noise movie called White Noise. So do it.
Oh God.
Yeah, so
So-
this is actually a really fucking serious story.
Right, I
And-
know.
And
We get it.
I mean,
We're sorry.
It haunted me. every time.
It sounds haunting.
Okay.
You had to bring in Gangsta's Paradise. I'm sorry.
I know.
It just
Well,
happened.
I wanted to set the mood so y'all knew where my soul was at while I was being, hit up by the Ouija board. So yeah, so I noticed it like the moment I walked in my room. Okay. And I stopped like in the doorway, and I went, I don't know if I said it out loud or to myself. It's probably out loud, knowing me, but I was like, oh hell no. Like, I know, that I put that shit down there, and I was like about to like straight up walk in and just grab it and like throw it under there. And like, as soon as I like entered the room, and okay, wait, another key element. So my window, it was a cool, brisk evening. All right. So I had the window open. All right. 'Cause we live in the country.
It was a cool black night.
Yeah, it was a cool, brisk night.
The cats were purring. The cicadas were humming.
And attacking.
Gangsta's Paradise is
All right.
bumping.
Where am I at in this?
So the window was
So there
open.
was a window open, all right?
Right.
The window in my room was
You're
open.
standing in your
And I'm standing in the
doorway.
doorway. As soon as I walked in to like go and grab with my intentions were to grab the deal, just throw it under there forcefully. Stepped in the room and I heard this like laugh, all right? Now I have like thought back on this like numerous times, all right? And as a fellow nerd here, all right? I'm sure that you will get this reference. If you don't get this reference, then go look it up, all right? But I heard this laugh, all right? And so all this happened like really fast, right? But so I heard this laugh outside my window, all right? And the laugh that I heard sounded like, God, I can't ever remember his name, the skeleton character from Killer Instinct.
Oh, Spinal.
Okay.
Spinal.
Like when he would, win, he would do this laugh. Right. It was like that, but it was just picture, or don't picture it, but hear it in like full surround sound, like Dolby DST in your room. And it wasn't
this is like a
just
real ass,
laugh.
true ass story.
Yes.
This is insane. I can't believe you never told me this story before.
He just told it to me like a few months ago, and I was like, "Oh."
Was it something? God. Okay, so listen. Was it something that you like went and told your parents and like stuff like that immediately?
Yes.
Okay. What did they say?
What can
okay,
finish?
Sorry. Yeah, finish. Sorry, my bad.
Okay.
So, and it wasn't like a short laugh. Like it was like a long duration of Spinal's laugh in full Dolby surround sound in my room. And so I walk in my room and I'm like looking at the Ouija board. The window's actually right in front of me when you walk in the door.
Oh.
But so I'm looking over here like this. So I walk in, I hear the laugh, and then like I look, okay, out the window, and there is this old man. Okay.
This part gets me.
There's this old man in the window. And like the window is a little bit high because the house was pier and beam, which like means it's kind of built up on cinder blocks. Like so it's not a concrete slab.
Uh-huh.
All right. And so the windows were a little bit higher than normal. And so his hands are like up like this on the windowsill. And it looks like he's like pulling himself up, like looking in my window. His eyes were glowing yellow. Okay. And his mouth was closed. All right. But the laugh was happening.
Didn't you say he was like smirking or something?
And he had this like little smirk kind of look on his face. Like, okay. And then if you have seen The Conjuring 2, okay, he looks a ton like to my memory, like whenever I saw The Conjuring 2, I was like, the first time I saw it, I was like, oh shit, like Bill's house, whatever was his name, it was Bill's house. Bill Wilkins.
Died in this chair.
All right, the way that he looks, like because he's like possessed by Valak, so his eyes are yellow, but he's like this old man, and his like nails are all like long and like crazy, like. That's what he looked like in my window. Okay.
It's not cool.
No, it wasn't.
Not cool.
And so like it scared me the fuck out. And I just like stopped, and was like staring at this thing in my window. And another interesting detail that I remember is that as soon as the laugh happened, I don't even remember what part it was on Gangster's Paradise, but the CD started like skipping and like staying on this one part, like just repeatedly, during this whole little deal. I don't even know how long this lasted. Like, but it felt like an eternity that I was standing there just like frozen looking at this thing this old man in my window. And then all of a sudden he was gone, and I was like, okay. That just really happened. It creeped me out. Literally, as soon as he was gone, my parents got back from being out of town, or not out of town, but being in town, because it took like 40 minutes to get to town from wherever we live. So they were back. And I literally like ran to them.
They were
and,
like
told
debating
them
about what we're drinking.
Yeah. I literally ran to them. Ran to them, told them, what had happened. When they heard that it was a Ouija board, of course, they were like, "Oh my God." And I was like, "I don't know what this is."
You were like, "This is made by Parker Brother."
It says Parker. It says,
I thought it was Jumanji.
Yeah, I thought this was Jumanji. But like, so yeah, so that happened. And then it was like from that point on, like just there's been a ton of like little things that have happened to me in life, that
Do
were
you
like
think
spooky.
Do you think that like someone who's brought up religiously is more susceptible to hauntings because they believe in?
Yes.
I think that they are more susceptible, but I truly believe that it really borders, or not borders, but it centers more around like your personality type. Like if you're empathetic, or if you're like an empath,
you're feeding it fear, because in growing up as a Catholic, the devil was bad. So when I was a child, I feared demons. I feared the devil. Growing up. Now we have heard actually from a very religious person's mouth that they can't be possessed by a demon because they're a Christian. And it's like, no.
Yeah.
That's not true.
If
they exist, if you
exist,
believe in, if you're a Christian and you believe in there's God, then there's a devil. But you can't be possessed because you're a Christian? That doesn't make any fucking sense.
Yeah.
Right?
Right. That does not. I mean, not really. Unless somebody made the rules. I mean, it's like, I don't know. It's like silver and garlic. Who made up that shit? You think a vampire is really? You think a vampire really goes, "Oh shit, man, I hate silver. Whenever you kill me with silver, I'm dead."
Are vampires real?
Or no, that's a werewolf. Sorry.
Werewolves. But the thing with that is, what interests me the most is that when he told me the story and he said that these girls left it on this bus, like maybe they were fucking seeing some shit. Maybe, and also too, one step of possession is needing to be attached to that object. So, they were just kind of like, they needed to be with it. Like, why would they bring it on the bus?
Yeah.
Why would they need to feel like they brought it on the bus? Either A, they were getting so connected to whoever they thought they were speaking with that opened up some door to something inhuman.
Maybe they just brought it for show and tell.
Or
at age 13, 14.
Yeah.
Or maybe they were terrified that they thought that if we bring this on the bus, somebody else will take it because we don't know how to get rid of it and we don't want to tell our parents what we're doing.
Well, they got it back for me. Personally, because I knew where their house was.
So what did they say when you handed it back to them?
I don't even fully remember. They were just like, "Oh, thanks."
Thanks for bringing back our spirit. He's like, "I had a good time."
Yeah, take this, please.
Ghost said he's gonna have a sleepover.
I'm so happy you had fun with me, Daniel. I hope I didn't scare you too bad. I have a tendency of doing that. Didn't really mean it.
Yeah. So, from that point on, I kind of had.
Oh, I had a wonderful time.
From that point on, kind of had many different paranormal, smaller stories, but then really probably the biggest one was right before the birth of my first child, Emery. It was a very, very low point, in my life. I'd just been diagnosed with bipolar like maybe a year and a half before that, and was doing all these different medications and stuff, and it was a really trying time. But it all kind of led to this one night where I was sleeping on the couch, and I woke up, and I was like laying on the couch, and I could hear these voices, talking so like my couch, was here in the living room, and then like if you got up and just kind of walked straight, you walked into the kitchen, but the kitchen was like joined with this like fireplace sitting area. And that's where it sounded like it was coming from the other side of this wall in the kitchen fireplace sitting room area. And so I like laid there for a minute, like listening, and from the couch, I couldn't understand what they were saying. So I got up and was like, is this real? And got up, walked to the entryway into the kitchen area, and like, it was, all the lights were off, but, through the like light of the moon or whatever, I could still see everything that was in the room. And when I looked in there, shadow figures, and they were talking to each other, and they were like speaking, I guess, a language that like I had no idea what they were saying, but every now and then I would hear my name. I would hear Daniel being said, and like, so like one of them was like his back was to me. Then the other one was kind of like this, like looked like he was like talking.
Let me interrupt you.
Ear.
Let me interrupt you real fast. How come you never told me any of these creepy ass motherfucking stories? Jesus. Like, I actively seek out creepy shit and like have my own creepy stories, but like yours, for being a religious person, like who doesn't engage in like creepy stories, these are like some of the creepier ones I've heard from anyone,
or like messes with anything like that you shouldn't mess with, especially being raised as a Christian. He has experienced some crazy shit.
Well, it happened. But yeah, so like it looked like this one was like talking in the other one's like ear almost, he was like leaned over, kind of like talking.
But they were shadow people.
But it was
like a dark figure.
It was like I could see through them, but they were really, really like dark, So it was like what I was seeing through the other side of them was darkened a lot, And I just remember I was like standing there, and it was like they were like talking. And like I said, I could not understand the language or whatever they were speaking to each other. But every now and then I would just hear Daniel, and it was like in a conversation format. And I was like, I don't know how long I stood there like listening. But then all of a sudden, like, it just like kind of came out of me. I was like, hey, what are y'all doing in my house? And like, as soon as I said,
I know your name.
As soon as I said something, like it got like eerily like quiet. It was kind of one of those moments where like, if there was like crickets and shit going on and like they're talking, all of a sudden it was like everything just like went silent. There's no more crickets making any noise, no nothing. And like the one that was kind of like leaned over talking to this one, like just kind of like slowly like turned his head and like looked over to where I was standing, and like it had no face, no nothing. It was just like black face, blackness, and I was like,
that's creepy.
And I was like, I don't even remember what happened after that point. I just remember waking up.
Just remember cleaning up the poop after that.
Yeah. Changed the underwear I was wearing when I woke up this morning.
I remember when we first, got together, like officially, and like you told me these stories, and I was like, wow. And I was trying to explain to you shadow people, and because you had no idea what that was. I was like, yeah, they're called shadow people. Many people see them. Unfortunately, sometimes they come up and they make themselves visible in times when people are going through a lot of stress. Things are just not right in the home. Like similar to like poltergeist energy, from what I've read.
But so I'll kind of expound on the story then, since we're telling it. I won't just leave it at that. So I actually did, because that was happening. While that, like when that happened, I was also having this like reoccurring dream. and this was like before Emery was born. And I was having this recurring dream, which was sleep paralysis related, which I've never, other than this one chunk of time in life, had an issue with or even experienced. Okay. So like I don't normally have it, but I was having it then. And it was like I would wake up and I would be in my bed, and it was as if Emery was born, and I could hear her down the hall in her room, like just screaming, bloody murder. And like I would try to like get up to like go in there because I knew like something bad was happening. It was like I just had that sense, like something really bad, like not just like she's upset because she's awake, crying. It was like something really bad is happening. I need to get in there, but I couldn't get up. And then I would like wake up, but I kept getting like as the dream would like went on for like I think it was like months actually. I would get more of the dream each night. It was really weird. And then finally, like when I stopped having them, which was right before I saw the shadow people, was the last dream. The way the dream played out was I woke up, heard the screaming and crying, and got up or tried to get up but couldn't, and then finally like kind of powered myself up and like drug myself off the bottom of the bed, fell on the ground, drug myself to the bedroom door, and then I would go to open the door, and like so this is the final dream, and as soon as I open the door and I'm like holding on to the door and like pulling myself like out the door to start going down the hall, this black faced like shadow person face like flies out of Emery's room and just comes flying at my face and gets like this close, to my face, and didn't say anything. It just like made this like, I mean, I'm going to call it a growl, I guess, but it was like nothing that I'd ever heard. It was kind of like a growl scream thing, but it just like, I opened the door, and it was like opening the door, pulling myself out of the doorway into the hallway, and it just comes flying and like is in my face in like a split second and does this like scream thing. And then I like wake up. And so that was the last dream that I had of that. And that was like a little, maybe a week or so before I encountered the shadow people in my home. And then, so it's like after that happened, some friends of mine, I was like telling them this that was happening to me. And they actually told me of this couple who were kind of this like Ed and Lorraine Warren type religious couple, and suggested that I go and talk to them. And I did. And in my session with them, I don't even remember everything that happened after a certain point, but at the beginning of it, just from talking to me, they told me that for sure a demonic entity had attached itself to me. Like I was not possessed, but that they were
like it had its finger in your butt.
Yeah,
exactly.
Essentially. And it was just following me around everywhere.
Right.
With its finger in my butt. That's a great way of looking at it.
All right.
Like
it's not fucking you.
No.
He just got his finger.
It's just messing around. It's just jacking around.
It's just jack-a-lacking.
Yeah. And and they did something, but I don't have any like memory of what actually occurred in there. But it was like after that, everything kind of stopped altogether.
Well, did you start jacking off in front of it? Maybe, because like, look, I know that if you have a straight demon and you start jacking off all the time, every time you feel weird, he will leave you alone. That is a true.
That could happen.
Yeah, right. But most demons are like really into any kind of fornication it can.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Especially butt play.
I think whatever those people did definitely helped, like, rid it maybe from you. And I believe that if you haven't seen it,
Jeffrey, I see you.
really since, it's a creepy thing, like you just never know. And that's how, like you just kind of explained, like they say that religious people say that they can't be, tormented by spirits or malevolent spirits.
What's this one? Danny Rodriguez.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever had any bad experiences after seeing a white owl fly over?
Oh, like the fourth kind?
Like the fourth kind.
Actually,
I've never seen a white owl fly over me.
I've never seen a white
culture,
owl in real life.
Owls are a form of death.
Yeah,
but if you see an owl, that means you're going to
Isn't that
die.
an alien thing though too?
Yeah.
From the movie The Fourth Kind?
Oh yeah, we just said that.
Yeah, we did.
When that bitch is like levitating off that chair.
Why she gotta be a bitch?
Why she gotta be?
I don't know.
You're so disrespectful to women.
Shut your face.
For a feminist, you're so disrespectful to women.
Eat my asshole.
Eat my asshole. Casserole.
Come on over and have yourself an asshole casserole.
They say they's witches.
I don't know.
What are you making that face for? You're creeping me out.
So
it's because we're talking about
malevolent
things. So Jenna, Ricky's girlfriend, just walked in and says she just heard Daniel talking about the spirits that he,
from the box,
just came in contact with, and
yeah,
her face was like,
I'm
nope.
still spirit from the block.
Then she's acting like there's noises happening.
And now there's noises.
It's probably the dog.
Is it white noise?
Let me out. I've been a bad boy.
I just want to shit because I love you.
I don't know where to shit. I just want your love.
I don't know. I'm not a small
La
lion,
Llorona?
but I do know what love is.
So La Llorona. La Llorona. She will drown your children. She'll drown your children. She'll fucking drown your children.
No,
La Llorona.
She'll really fucking drown your children.
No, seriously, she will drown your children.
Yeah. I actually went to see. The funny thing is, I mean, I've heard of it in the past, but not enough to remember it.
Mm-hmm.
What it's about. But me and my girlfriend, who is, has been told the story of La Llorona to keep her under control as a child.
Oh yeah.
We went to see that in the theaters, and she was fucking terrified. She was like, "Oh my god! Oh shit!"
So Jenna's like, "Oh my god!" So you probably had your like grandma, like just kind of like being like, "Well, Llorona's gonna come for your ass if you don't behave." Your dad, yeah, that's creepy. That's fucked up. That's fucked up.
They told him that story because
I think everyone in Hispanic culture has told their children, you know what? If the chupacabra is not going to come for your ass, then La Llorona is in your goddamn sleep and drown your ass.
If you hear some crying near the river, and you believe in ghosts, fucking La Llorona.
She will wear a white dress, a fucking white dress.
She will drown your children. La Llorona.
She's got a pet chupacabra. A pet chupacabra. I'm literally gonna piss myself.
It's off the top of our heads.
Next song.
So someone says,
"Oh
I
shit!"
still see you, Jeffrey. Fucker.
Stop yelling at me.
Someone says, and I thought this was interesting that someone asked this because you and I were just literally talking about this the other night. Dumb question to ask, but have you guys ever heard or done Bloody Mary?
Actually, I tried to lock his ass in the bathroom the other night and started saying Bloody Mary. He's like, he escaped like Sound of Music. He was out that door.
I don't even know what that means, but
He was
it's true.
freaking out that door. I was like, you want to do Bloody Mary? He's like, no. I was like, come on.
That's
let's
like
do Bloody Mary.
Candyman.
Yeah.
Candyman's scarier than Bloody
It
Mary.
is scary as fuck.
It's just like,
Be
wait, but you don't even
dumb.
you don't even believe in it.
Bee with the bees buzzing around.
He's like, have you ever done it? And I was like, no.
I was like, come
I haven't ever done it.
on.
She's like, well, have you never done it? Just try it. See, I was like,
You
just
just-
because I've never done it doesn't mean I want to try
You just
and see
need
if it works.
you just need a bathroom with a mirror that has no light.
Like, what if it works?
Yeah.
That's
Then
a
you're fucked.
risk I'm not willing to
Hey,
take.
that's it. You fucked.
Dun, 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 Bloody Mary.
If it did work though, and you ever went to prison, you could just take yourself out easy. Just do the Bloody Mary in the shower.
Matthias said, nice to share this night with you guys. It's very nice to share this night with
Hell
all
yeah.
of you.
Yo, Jeffrey, I fucking see you, goddammit, Jeffrey.
Jeffrey just
We're
said,
talking
want
all this
to
shit.
play I Spy? I Spy with my little eye. Something tie with a white hat.
Yeah, I see that, Jeffrey. But at least you ain't calling me Hispanic like the rest of these mother.
He's being racist.
No,
Just
he's
kidding.
not being racist.
I'm
He just
kidding.
said,
I'm kidding.
Report him!
No. Dude, like, so there's so many just fucking creepy shit. Like, I have creepy stories too, but I feel like we should share that for the next.
I feel like,
I mean, we've been
I
going
mean,
for 2
we're
hours
2.5
and 30
hours.
So,
you know,
so maybe we could next week.
Next
Yeah.
week on Freaky Fridays, we should totally share some more creepy stories.
Yeah.
And this shit still lives with me.
yeah.
I mean, Krista
Me.
hasn't. Krista hasn't told the creepy
The
stories.
crooked Kruger. She hadn't told you about the crooked Kruger.
story down.
She didn't tell you about the jello pudding.
It was a Cosby sweater.
the story about Theo.
They took her
You see. God.
It's a Cosby ghost.
He did Ghost Dad.
Ghost Dad. Yeah.
Can we please watch that? Just review Ghost Dad.
No, Theo.
It's me, your dad, Bill Cosby. I'm a ghost. Can we just please play the? Do we have footage of Mikey saying, "This is Bill Cosby's house"? You called me a goofing son of a bitch. Remember that when somebody called him, like
Yeah.
Frank called him.
Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah, you're like, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I
Oh,
remember.
That
yeah, I
was a good
remember
fucking time.
Now I remember.
But yeah, we have a lot of creepy shit. I've listened to some creepy fucking shit. I've experienced some creepy shit, which we will share on the next Freaky Friday. But until then, if you guys have any stories that you or a loved one or a friend or in passing, a coworker, fucking whatever, shared with you, please, like message us on our Instagram at Empyrean_lights. And
Or email us.
Email us, please. Empyreanlights@gmail.com. And you know, you can ask us questions about paranormal shit or creepy shit. Or you can just send us a story that we will read live. Pazuzu
Pazuzu
for the win.
And if give you a little extra incentive to submit your story, if you are one of the 5 that we select,
Mhm.
you will get a special something
From us
from
personally.
us.
We will
here
send
at
it to your
Empyrean
house
mailed directly to you.
without, like, we'll even like wipe it down with Lysol
I
before
was
we
just
send it.
gonna make
gonna
the
send
joke.
you
I was just gonna make the
That's
joke
what
that
we're gonna do.
we'll cough all over it first.
No, we're gonna kiss it. And kiss all over the thing we
We're
get
gonna
in.
lick
And
it
when you get
on.
it in the mail, we're not gonna wash it because it's gonna be kisses all over it. Then you're gonna get infection with our kiss.
Oh my god.
They're gonna be like, oh my god, I feel the kisses all over me.
I got the
Open this
COVID
package.
kisses.
Open this package with your tongue.
Do you remember when it was a
And they're gonna rip the package open like this with their teeth, and then there's gonna be a tongue that comes out. Kisses.
like in Freddy
Like
Krueger when
Freddy.
it comes out the phone?
Yes.
To wind this
First
live
Freaky
hangout
Friday.
sesh of Freaky Friday
Thank you.
down.
So much for joining us.
This has been Empyrean Lights.
thank you for subscribing. We hope that you have subscribed. If you haven't, please hit that subscribe button. You can follow us on Instagram, and you can also follow us on Facebook. Please send your fucking stories so we can read them live, and then you can get something from us. If you've donated to us, thank you so fucking much. We appreciate it. And please also check out Worship and Tribute Nerd on YouTube and on Insta-Dizzle.
Go check out Worship and Tribute Nerd if you like nerdy stuff. If you like band culture, if you like band dude culture and nerd stuff with comics and movies, whatever.
Video games.
We're on Facebook and we're on YouTube. And I'm going to do some streaming this week, probably with some Resident Evil 3.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And also, we are going to be also doing another live stream next week, which involves us taking questions, your personal questions. And again, we pick 5 of the questions. And if yours is picked and we answer them live, then you will get something from us mailed to your house with COVID. No,
Kisses.
no COVID.
She meant kisses.
All of it.
All right. So stay safe, everybody. Hashtag alone together. We love you. And we'll see you next week.
Bye. I think that was good.